At the time, it was the most dangerous federal prison in America, man. The Mexican Mafia was trying to establish control and power, and they did. So when I get there, they read my paperwork. He said, the Mafia is going to pick him up. He's like, you need a minute to think about it? I said, no. He's like, good, because you ain't got a minute. These people are experts of identifying weakness or a little crack in your armor, and then you might go astray, and we can't have that, man. They'll kill you in a heartbeat.
Chris Arevalos grew up in a small town in rural Indiana and was raised in extreme poverty. His mother and father were both migrant laborers. After coming home from serving a stint in the military, Chris found his Indiana community ravaged by Oxycontin addiction in the early 2000s. This was the beginning of the opioid crisis. Chris soon became an addict himself and was nearly killed by his substance abuse. He managed to kick the habit and became a dealer instead, and started trafficking large quantities of oxys from Mexico up to Indiana and throughout the Midwest. His operation was getting huge when he got busted and got a 5-year sentence in the feds. His first stop was at USP Sandy, Big Sandy as it's known. It's easily one of the most violent federal prisons in the country. At that time, killings were happening on a daily basis, and the gangs were literally running the prison. Chris, who is half Latino, was recruited by Eme, the Mexican Mafia. Eme is widely acknowledged to be the largest organized crime gang in the American federal prison system. They are ruthless. Chris was soon running dope and cigarettes for the gang, and somehow managed to become friends with the top dog, the shot caller for the entire Eme organization at Big Sandy. Chris gives fascinating insight into how the structure of Eme works and how unbelievably organized and disciplined they are. He has stories from Big Sandy that made me drenched in sweat during the interview, so be prepared. He walks through his struggles of overcoming addiction, how he found meaning and identity within Eme, and describes his attempt to leave the gang and the conflicting loyalties he felt towards his shot caller as well as his family on the outside. Chris made it out alive and today is working for a Fortune 500 company in his home state of Indiana, leaving the criminal life behind and beating his addiction. And for a crazy twist at the end, check out the Patreon episode with Chris, patreon.com/theconnectshow. Finally, someone who ran with the ranks of the Mexican Mafia and lived to tell about it. This is a first on this podcast and one of my favorite episodes. This is going to be a Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Chris Arevalos right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
Their reputation alone throughout the federal prison system is supreme. I was willing to do whatever to whoever it was, man. I was wanting to be next in line. Okay, in the morning, we got your first little thing. Here's the shank. Here I come, boy. First mission, loaded down. I felt something, and I wanted to feel more. And that's when I wanted to make the hit on somebody.
That's when I see the lights behind me start to flash. And I didn't even think, I just hit it. I was driving like my life depended on it. Then I parked the car, hopped out, closed the door, and I started running.
And he pulls out a burner, a shank, it's like 6 inches. Then he passes it to me, and he goes, here, that's yours. Don't ever leave the cell block without this. He was the reason I made it out of that place alive.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. You've got a real unique background. You're the first of your kind here on The Connect, and people are about to see why. Chris Arevalos, thank you for coming on.
It's an honor to be here.
You're from Southern Indiana?
Yes, Scott County, Indiana.
And that's where that accent comes from.
Yes.
The Texas of the North, Indiana. I don't even want to call it. It's like the Arkansas of the North, dude. Indiana is a hillbilly state.
It is, man. Cornfield mania.
Yeah. Home of the Ku Klux Klan. But anyways, look, that was history.
Yes.
You're from Austin, Indiana,
Yes.
Tiny little town.
4,500 people.
Oh, Jesus.
One red light, man.
Wow. What did your parents do?
My dad, he was initially a migrant worker from Texas. And my mother, she was a farm girl as well. So they both worked in the fields growing up, man. No education. Wow. Yeah.
Poverty.
Rural poverty. There's a difference, Johnny Mitchell, between inner city poverty. Those people have help. There's places for help. Us out there, we don't have no help, man.
There's no government assistance.
No, we wouldn't take it if you wanted it. At least my family wouldn't.
And your father's side is the Latino?
Yes. From
Mexican, Spain
but his mother was pure Mexican.
Okay.
My mother, she's from England. My mother.
Wow. So what was childhood like?
Oh, man, it was average, rural poverty.
So you worked in the fields?
Yeah, my mother and father did.
What did you do? Did you help them?
My mother was dead set on me going to school, man.
Yeah.
Every day she put me on that school bus with a breakfast full stomach.
Yeah.
She said, look, this is something me and your father never had a chance to do, going to school, and we want you to at least complete high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I made that promise.
You did. And then you went to the Marines?
Yes, sir. I joined the Marine Corps right after high school, right out of high school. Got sent to Parris Island Boot Camp, and Camp Lejeune, North Carolina was my permanent duty station.
Okay. Did you go overseas at all?
No, only to 29 Palm, California once a year, the desert out here.
Yikes.
Yes.
That's the Indiana of California.
The middle of nowhere, nothing.
Palms.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can smell the meth cooking over there. Now, was that a good experience, though? Did
Yes,
you feel like you grew up through the Marines? That gave you discipline and, a sharp mind. You're no dummy.
Oh, thank you.
I can tell.
Thank you, sir.
What do you think it did for you?
Well, like you say, expand on mine, because up to that point, coming out of those cornfields in Indiana, I didn't have much knowledge of anything, really, any type of worlds going on besides the rural country. So I was able to get in there. I studied at the Marine Corps Institute. Basically it was online, but through the mail with booklets. So I done that for 2 years. I learned a lot: terrorism awareness, basic weapon training, and everything like that.
But then you go back, you get out, and you go back to your little Austin, Indiana farm town.
Yes.
What year is that?
That's in 2000.
You went back in 2000.
Yes.
And you come home to an opioid crisis.
Yes.
Describe that.
Well, it was nationwide. I didn't understand how serious it was, and then they said Austin was was ground zero for the opioid. Yeah. And
Crazy.
what had happened, Johnny, was the doctors, where they were coming to eastern Kentucky, targeting southern Indiana, eastern Kentucky, going to those doctors and having to push them oxy scripts, man.
Yep.
And then it hit southern Indiana. Those doctors kept pushing them, and pharmacies too. They were getting on board with it. We shut a couple. Dr. Stevens in Henryville, Indiana, we shut him down. Me and this other lady, she died overdose, but I would send her in there. He would be writing them. He started writing so many, fell in love with her, and then the feds shut him down. But yeah, I come home to that, man. Everybody that I knew in the whole town was doing oxys, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, and they were hooked on them, and they were just like everywhere.
Yeah, sure. I remember reading headlines from Indiana specifically about the ravages of oxy and then heroin.
Yes.
And there was like an HIV outbreak.
That's the largest HIV outbreak in the world per capita, even worse than sub-Saharan Africa. Now, you hear about the news over there in sub-Saharan Africa. It's really terrible over there. But Austin per capita, we had the worst one, man.
Because sharing needles?
Yeah, sharing needles. That one needle they found, Johnny, I read it in the newspaper. It said that they put it under a microscope. It had been used over 250 times, man. That one,
Christ.
A rough estimate of that one. So when they heard that, it was former Vice President Pence that was the governor at the time.
Right.
He opened a needle exchange clinic specifically for Scott County, right there in Austin, to hand out those needles to curb the HIV outbreak, man. It was running rampant.
Brutal.
Yes.
Brutal. You can't even imagine in the modern era
they had
in America
people from
that there's
all
an
over.
HIV epidemic like this is 1982.
Yes. And especially a small town in the middle of nowhere, 4,500 people.
Now, did you get hooked?
Yeah, I was hooked on them too. I'm not going to you, Johnny. I'm going to be straight. I'm a straight up dude, man, 100%. No matter what it makes me look like, I'm authentic and real, man. I was pushing that needle in my arm. Any chance I got, I would burn that oxy down and shoot it, man. It caused me heartbreak, Johnny, with my family, my son. I couldn't hold a job, man. I was lost for about 3 years, man. I was hooked.
And that was the move, was to cook down oxy like it's heroin?
What you would do was you would get you a pop can. We were so poor up there, we hardly had spoons, around. So we'd just get a pop can. Or they had these things called shooting galleries, Johnny, what it was. And it was like an empty house, man, where one person lived there. And in the back in the bedroom, wherever on the cabinet, counter, whatever, there would be pop cans, like a shooting gallery when you go to the fair, those things. Yeah. But there was oxys, on top of it, or residue where people were sick. They would just come in off the street, man, and pour water in that, and get that rinse.
Yeah.
Trying to help them get sick. But yeah, I was doing that, Johnny, man. I would sit there and burn that, put the heat to it. Put however much water in that syringe, put the heat to it, and that coating would fall off, man, if you didn't want to break it up. That coating would fall off like gel. You'd move it to the side, and that pill would just dissolve into the water, and you stick your cotton there, you draw it up, man. And you hit it. Mm-hmm.
Filthy.
Yes.
Filthy.
And that one needle was used over 250 times. I come in there, John, and there would be one needle for the whole apartment or the house. There might be 7 or 8 people.
So how are these dirt poor hillbillies affording oxys when they can't afford needles?
Most of them are on checks, Social Security checks, and that's how it got going from the doctor.
Yeah.
You know, grandma was getting Lord tabs for 15 years, but all of a sudden, okay, let's push these oxys.
Yeah.
Now grandma's getting oxys. Don't get the Lord tabs here. Try these oxys. Oh, they're Lord tabs on steroids, man.
Right.
And we can shoot them, you know?
That's right.
So that made the money go up. You're getting 10 out of the Lord tabs. You're getting 80 out of the oxy.
Wow.
Lives are being transformed for the good and bad.
What good? What good did
Some
oxy
people
do?
are getting rich. I know houses. We've built houses. I've brought so many pills to them people down there. Certain one of them, they still live in the same house, man.
Really?
Since the early 2000s when I put them on.
So this once cornfield hillbilly impoverished town has some new oxy wealth in it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And,
early back then. Yes.
and is that illegal selling it on the street, or is that people setting up pharmacies and selling it legally?
Oh, no. That's them going to the doctor, getting their 90, 80 milligram tablets, which is $7,200 a month off that one script.
Right.
Plus, they're getting their $2,000 Social Security check. So they're knocking on door of $10,000 a month. Now we're talking 120 a year, man.
Yeah, and out there, that's $10 million.
Yes. Yes.
Now, did you have out-of-towners? Did you have people from...
That's what I did, and I didn't like that very well, and I had something for them whenever the out-of-towners come in, because what I tried to do is the people that were pushing them for me, okay, but what about the people that was before me, that your out-of-towners come once a month? Oh, we won't deal with them no more. Okay, why is their truck parked over on the 15th the same day they get them every month? I know when they get their pills. I know where everybody gets their pills. Oh, this and that or whatever. Okay, just send somebody up there to bust their windows, flatten their tires, you know. After you do that a couple months in a row, man, they won't come back.
Okay, so did you get clean before you started pushing?
Yes. What happened was one morning I was sitting in an apartment complex at DeHart Drive. It's a little bitty like ghetto place, a ghetto in the rural area, apartment complex. And I looked around, Johnny. I had nothing but the couch I was sitting on. I'd done traded my TV off, my radio. I'd done sold the stove, man. I think I had the refrigerator left to keep me something cold in there. But other than that, I was sleeping on the couch, and I was sick. I was hooked on them. I kept looking at the person that had them, all these things, people going. I said, my girl, hey, man, I'm getting out of here. You know, I said, I'm going to come back. I said, clean. And I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get into it. And she's like, yeah, you know, that's good. You know, whatever. Look at you, weigh 100 pounds, man. Yeah. You have abscess on your arms. You ain't doing shit. You know, I was sick, Johnny. Yeah. And so I went to Louisville, Kentucky, man. I got clean, straightened up. Awesome. And then I met a girl, and she was at the methadone clinic as well. So we got together, and I told her, hey, let's go see my family, you know, up in Indiana. We're straightened out. Everything's good. And I was showing her, I'm telling you what I'm telling her. She's like, man, I know somebody that can get these oxys, man. You know, I used to strip at a club there in Louisville, and he can probably get them for us. So I started getting some off of him, you know, and going down there and pushing him. He couldn't supply me enough, man.
Right.
You know, I had him lined up on the 2 roads over. I'd be in the middle, you know, at my cousin's house, man, and then they would be lined up in the driveway all the way up down the road to 2 roads over.
Wow.
That's how
like crack lines in the 80s.
Like a crack line in the 80s in the inner city. There was after the oxys, man.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying this episode. I want to take a quick break to explain how much I hate wasting money. It's true, I'm Scottish and I am as cheap as they come. When I was in the game, the only thing I cared about was the money. So much so that it ended up being my downfall. These days, I may not be smuggling anymore, but I still take the money aspect of my job very seriously. So you can imagine how pissed I was when I found out that I had been paying for podcast hosting sites that I hadn't used in years. Almost 2 years of monthly payments that I didn't even know about. With all that wasted money, I could have paid to get El Mayo as a guest on this show. And frankly, still gonna try. Thankfully, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, stepped in and helped me out. I quickly signed up. The process was super easy, and I immediately was notified about my subscriptions. On that list, I saw 2 hosting sites I was paying for monthly. With the click of a button, Rocket Money was able to cancel those subscriptions for me. See, that's key. I didn't even have to reach out to the companies. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. They can even help you set a budget for yourself. And the part I love the most is that when you sign up, they have a sliding scale of what you pay for their help. And whatever you choose, it doesn't affect the service you get. They really do care about your financial well-being. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with just a few taps. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/connect. That's rocketmoney.com/CONNECT. rocketmoney.com/connect. Get with them and save yourself money. All right, let's get back into the show. Now, how much were you buying them for in Kentucky
he was
and selling
taxing
them for?
me. He was taxing them, this guy in Louisville, the one that owned a strip club. I think he was giving it to me for like 40, man. And I was getting $40 a piece for the 40s, and I was selling them for like 60. So I'm only making like 20. At this time, I'm piecing them out, you know. Yeah. So I sell 100 a day, you know, that's $2,000, man. So
$2,000 a day.
Yeah, if I can get them
So
off.
you're rolling.
Yes, at the time. So I start doing that. He can't supply me enough. So she tells me, hey, I know another guy, Muslim dude. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. So I meet the little dude. I meet him. He goes to jail for some odd reason like a month later. So I meet the Connect, the one's bringing him from Detroit. So I get with him. He's like, what are you giving him? I said, 40. He's like, I'm going to give him to you for 30. I'm like, hell, $10 extra, that's okay, you know? So we get rolling, man, for about a good year. I'm taking them up there. I'm still banging them out one at a time by myself. And then if he comes to me, hey, man, you made me so much money. He's like, I want to get out and own a tire shop, a gas station I found in Meade County, Kentucky. I want you to get with me. And I'm like, man, you know I'm not getting out. You see where I'm from. You see what I got. I said, you expect me to give that up for a tire shop? He said, I knew you was going to say that, man. He's like, just let me know if you ever need anything. I said, okay, then. So I'm like, man, what are we going to do? We're screwed. You know, I got all these people in Austin, you know, I got everything wide open, just like I'd always planned. But now I lost my Connect. And she's like, I got the last 2. She's like, what can you do? Yeah. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm like, man, I think I know somebody I can get like a high powered plug in Mexico, you know, if I can get down there. She's like, I don't know about that. She said, you know, Mexico. And I'm like, she's like, you sure you want to do something like that? I'm like, look, you know, I said, what do we got coming in? We ain't got nothing. I said, we have to do something. So we end up booking some tickets, man, down to San Diego. And we go down through Chula Vista, San Ysidro, Old Tom Mesa, and cross right there at Tijuana. And that's when I got the plug.
Okay, so how do you find the plug? Did you already know somebody down there?
Somebody vouched for me, man. Okay. Somebody I knew up here in the States that had been deported. They told me, hey, if you ever need something, man, here's my number. I'll be over here on the other side. Okay. So, hey, man, I still got the green light. He's like, yeah, come on. You know, whatever. We'll talk about when you come over. Yeah. So I told him, and he tells me what to do. I'm crossing the border, man. There was a cop on a payphone and with long hair. And he's looking at me, and I'm thinking, man, I got popped before I even got started. You know, he's looking at me and my girl. And he's like, hey. He's like that right there, points down, and I point down. I see the guy, my guy. Yeah, he's like this. Yes, he had a freaking cop. Well, I don't know if he's real, what kind of cop. He had a cop uniform on, Mexican cop uniform, and he's telling me to go like this. Yeah. So I knew, I'm like, man, he's all the way plugged in.
You're safe here.
Yes, this is like his backyard. You know, he's got the cops working for him. Yeah. So I go down there, hey, man, it's been a long time, this and that. He's like, you know, what do you need? He's thinking I need meth and coke and all the other crap. And I'm like, no, I need pastillas. You know, 2 chenas un balls de pastillas. You know, I need a bag of pills. You have a bag of pills. And he's like, de cuáles? And I said, you know, what kind? He tells me. I say, Oxycontin. You know, and he's like, yeah, give me a minute. Come on, we're sitting down here chopping up. He sends some dude on a bike. He tells him the name. The dude on the bike takes off. He comes back like 20 minutes later, man. and with the big tub. And he's like, these right here, he pulls them out and they're 80 milligrams, which go for 80. I'm like, this is exactly what I want. And I was like, now how much? He's like $10 a piece.
Oh,
no, you see the hair stand up on my arm? It's about like it did down there 20 some years ago.
So
I just started seeing all this stuff, new house, new cars, everything.
So $30 to down to 10.
Yeah, I went from 40 to 30 all the way down to 10, man.
Now, how much are you picking up at a time when you're down in Mexico?
Well, it all depends how much money, I have. I think I brought 20,000 with me that time, man.
Okay, so that gets you at 10 a pill. That gets you 2,000 pills.
Yeah.
Okay, so
those go fast,
right.
man.
So do you just walk them back across the border?
The first time we did it, okay, she brought the money over, my girl. She would bring the money over as well. But when we brought them back across, I told her, I'm like, look, you have that passport, because when you go through that line back then, you throw that passport up, they're not asking you nothing, Johnny. They're just waving you on through. You don't have that passport, man, you got to go through 1,000 questions. What are you doing over here? How long you going to be here? Where are you coming from? What do you do up there? And I'm seeing this passport game, and you're like all the way through. And I told her that. I'm like, it'd probably be a whole lot easier if you'd done it that way. And she's like, yeah, I'll do it, man. They just waved her on through. She was taking it across and bringing the money over.
Wow. So 2,000 pills for $80 a shot, you turn over into 160 off a $20,000 investment.
Yes, but here's the thing, though.
Wow.
I was not charging the 80. Whenever I started doing this, I'm thinking volume, Johnny.
Right.
I said, hey, man, I can drop it. I can drop the price. Yeah. Now I'm eliminating my competitors. You see what I'm saying? There's nobody going to be able to put up with a $50 Oxycontin when they're getting them. That's what they're paying retail.
Yeah.
And they're charging 80. There's no way they're going to be able to compete with me, Johnny.
So you're wholesale.
Yes.
Nice.
I finally get wholesale. Finally get what I've been looking for.
So
now I'm taking to my homeboys and I'm giving them for 60. I'm getting them for 10. I will make 50, man. I'm bringing them straight to you up 65 from Louisville. You ain't got to do nothing.
Yeah.
Be standing on grandma's front porch. That's all you got to be doing.
And they're sold. 2,000 pills is nothing.
Oh, man. I would take 200 here, 200 there, 5 of my friends, and they were gone. 2 days tops, man.
Yeah.
2 days tops.
So how do you scale this thing? Now we got a problem. The problem is supply. How do you,
man?
So
okay,
take us through it.
Yes, what happened is I just get back from Mexico. 2 days later, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, we got to figure something out. We need more transporters. We need a micro smuggle. We need to do something. This little 2,000 every other day, it's not going to work, man. We need some multitude of pills here. So I go back down there and I tell them what the problem is. I'm like, how can we get these things over in bulk, man? They said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You let us know what airport you're going to. And I said, more than likely it's going to be Louisville. He's like, what about Hartfield, Atlanta? What about Dulles? Atlanta, Hartfield, Atlanta, Georgia. What about Dulles, Washington, D.C.? I'm like, I've never been to those, before. And here's what's going on. I've got these people come with me, my transporters. I'm putting them on a plane. They're going to Louisville. I start out with 2. Don't even know each other. They're from the same county, Scott County, Indiana, where I'm from. I give them the pills. I give her the pills. They're both on the same plane. Don't know nothing. I get them the motel room. I tell them take the taxi. Here's the motel room you get to whenever you land at Louisville. So they get the pills. They're in Louisville Airport. They get in the cab. They go to the motel room. When I get back, I'll come get you. And pick you up and take you wherever. That's how I do the first 2, man.
And are you putting these mules on just passenger planes?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, they're regular commercial airliners.
Checking their bags?
Yeah.
From Mexico,
yes,
too? Okay.
Yes, because here's what I'll say his name. He's dead. Puma. That's my friend. It was my plug. He's dead. He told me, hey, man, we do have people that work in TSA. I know people from Sinaloa.
Yeah.
That's connected with the cartel. That's what I don't know. He knows. He's telling me this. Yeah, Puma says, man, if you give me the approximate date and time, he's like, I can see if there's anybody up there. There happened to be somebody one time, man. Yes, some woman, a black lady. And I end up meeting her, man, because she's from the West End, Louisville, and I lived in Louisville.
Yeah.
And I end up meeting her, because I remember her face and her name. So she knew me, and I told the girls, hey, I always use girls transporters.
Yeah.
I just never trusted a guy. I had a better relationship with the female. I could get a little bit closer to him, develop a little bit more trust. But this woman at the Louisville airport, she was working for somebody over there, man. Yeah, because he's like, look, if you can hang out 2 more days, she works on a Wednesday night, man. And she already told us there's a flight coming from San Diego. If you can make that one, then you're good.
And she'll just wave you through.
Yes. Well, she didn't wave us through. She was behind the scanner where you put your thing in. She was the one in charge. She had the walkie-talkie here and everything. Like she was the main one over the little bitty group there, man.
Being paid off by the cartel.
Yeah, she knew our pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, they took pictures of us, man.
This is like the plug.
Yes.
For real.
Yes. Because Puma, my friend, he was like, I know somebody, man, in Sinaloa that can help you. Yes.
That goes deep.
Yeah, man. And I'm thinking, if this dude knows somebody over there, man, because that's Sinaloa, I mean, that's opened everything right there, man.
So how many pills do you get back in the first couple of runs like this?
Well, I'm trying to shoot for 10,000.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was trying to shoot for.
Yeah.
The first two have 5 apiece, man.
Yeah.
That's what I shot for.
Okay.
And the first time I was a little bit short on the money, but he told me, he's like, ever since I've known you, and he's like, you haven't changed, man. He's like, it's been almost 15 years since I've seen you. He's like, nothing has changed about you, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't see why I couldn't, do what we were doing up there when I was in America.
So your money was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
My word and my credit was good with him.
Do you think your military experience helped you in your smuggling operations?
I know it did. I know it did, because when I went to the Marine Corps Institute in Washington, D.C., I studied terrorism awareness. And one thing I learned why the American government couldn't catch these terrorist cells, because one cell never knew about the other cell. Say there's 10 cells. Each cell has specific instruction and orders, and they think that they're the only ones operating, which isn't true. There might be 10 more just like them.
Right.
But you bust one, how much information can you get? Not much, because they don't know anything except for their cell. I wanted to use a cell method. That's what I call it. So each group, but I use one person, each one never knew about the other one. She could be sitting 5 seats back with 5,000 80s just like you have, but you don't know, and she don't know either. Because you get caught, who you with, whatever. I'm by myself. I swear he comes to the motel room in San Diego and he's never with anybody. I'm feeding him the same line in the other motel room.
And you're giving them a fake name, and they don't know who you are. They just know your face. That's it. So how do you scale this thing even further?
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell them.
It's getting fun.
It is, man. It's getting deep. And then that's the lust of money, Johnny. You know, when anybody that makes money, man, they're lustful over it, and it doesn't matter, the consequences. You just think you can't get caught. You just keep going. That's the mind frame I was in. Hey, I can't get caught. I'm with these people in Mexico over here on the other side. They're powerful, man. They're plugged me in. I think everything's going well. So what happens is I'm getting greedy. I want more and more and more. So I end up getting 6, man. That's the most I've ever got. Well, I had 6 transporters, man.
Okay. On the same plane?
On the same plane.
Holy.
Yes, and I thought that was too dicey. I just thought it was dicey, man. What if somebody strikes up a conversation about I enjoy hamburgers, but one in my hometown, Scottsburg, Indiana, we have a place called Hardee's. And then what if the woman's sitting next, not too far back, and I was like, that's awful strange. She's talking about Hardee's. I have a Hardee's. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever it got that far, that was the last one. I did like that. I just took it upon me and her from now on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how many pills do you bring in a month?
Well, just from that, I only did the 6 one time, and then I went back down to me and her. And so I was probably going down there once a month, man. The feds had me crossing like 42 times in a 3-year period. So it averaged out about once a month I was going down there. I remember my lawyer told me. Because what they did, whenever I was throwing up that ID card, they would input all my information, and they would have a history log of every time, the exact day and time I crossed, man. So what ended up happening was whenever they got me, they were going to take a certain amount of oxys times every time. See,
what was each trip?
Each trip, towards the end, I was going for 20, man.
Wow.
I went from 10, I was going to try to double everything.
Wow. So you're killing it by the end.
Yeah.
Did you get out of Austin, or are you still
posted up? Remember, I had them lined up in a driveway, and then on the other side of the road by myself. I'm like, man, my girlfriend said, you have all those friends. He's like, why don't you get 3 or 4 of them that you trust, and we can do our thing, and then they can be doing whatever, and you just go pick it up. And I'm like, you're right, man. So he's like, well, some of them don't have houses. They live with their mom or whatever. I said, here's what I'll do. I knew an old man up there, and he rented houses. He was a slumlord, man. And I would just tell him, hey, let me get this house for a month. I'm going to pay cash. There ain't going to be no electric, no nothing, man. Just going to be a house, empty house like it is now. I paid him. I would give them that empty house, my friend. They would sit in there all day, man, and then sell them pills. So now I give you a house to sell out of. I'm giving you pills up front. You know, you're living, man. You know, 2 years ago when we were down here riding bicycles together on the street, going there trying to plot how to rob a bag of chips out of the store.
Yeah.
You know?
And now you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Look at the Cadillac sitting there in your thing. Your grandma's got a new breathing machine in there. You're getting your kids back. You got a good lawyer.
Wow.
Everything's happening for us,
And you stayed off pills as you were?
Yeah, I went to the methadone clinic.
Right, so you didn't go back on them even when you were trafficking
I tried it too. I tried one of them, man. I loaded a whole 80 up one day at once and shot on that methadone. I didn't feel nothing. Wow. So, you know, I'm like, well, that's good. You know, I have the good buzz I want off the methadone, and I can't be abusing and spending my money anymore. Wow. So, yeah, Johnny, so what's going on, man? I'm not popping them by myself no more. I'm taking 4 or 5 of my friends, and there's a lot more people selling them, man, besides me, you know? And I'm like, look, man, I know you're probably giving 50, 60 for them. You're selling for 80. You know, I'm going to give them to you for 40, man. Yeah. You know, and you sell them for 60, you're going to cut everybody out.
Today's episode is sponsored by BlueChew. If you want to be as hard as the summer day is long, then get yourself a BlueChew and bring the summer heat. There's still time to get laid, to win her back, and BlueChew is going to be the way you do that, all right? BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. BlueChew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part? It's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. What? Revolutionary. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. You guys know how much I love BlueChew. I'm constantly singing their praises. This is by far my favorite sponsor that I've ever had on this podcast. I really believe in them, especially if you're in a drought. If you're a young man and you're in a drought, you need to go into that date that you finally got with confidence. You need to go in there strapped. And BlueChew is the first and last male enhancement company that you will ever need to use. There's really no competition. BlueChew, okay? BlueChew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And you know this about us. We want to get you hooked up with a special deal. Try BlueChew free when you use our promo code Mitchell at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com with the promo code Mitchell, MITCHELL, to receive your first month free. You get a bunch of free boners all month. What? It's like you're 17 again. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast. So you're the only one with the Mexican plug in your area.
Oh, yes, man. And that's the thing in life, man. Anybody that's ever been in, if you don't have a Mexican plug, you don't have nothing.
That's right.
I'm serious. You might be a white dude and you got a plug, he's white, but man, you need brown.
Sure.
You need the brown plug.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
his plug going on down, it's a brown plug, Mexican plug at the end of the day.
Did you ever, where were these oxys coming from in Mexico? The factory?
No, they were coming from the pharmacy.
Okay.
And here's what happened. I was getting so many off of him. He was telling me it's going to be different next time you come. And I'm thinking, I didn't want to ask too many questions. Next time I come, I'm telling him, hey, I'm at the spot. Okay, we're going to send a vehicle. They send a vehicle up there. He gives me, this is the first time, something odd. He tells me something different. I don't know if they're going to kill me or what's going on. I'm thinking I have not ever did anything to these people, man, you know, so I don't know why they would want to kill me, but they take me in the vehicle, pull up to a pharmacy. There's a bunch of little brown people outside carrying boxes into the store. He said, come in. I said, okay, I go in. And there's a lot of people. I'm like, they're not going to kill me at least. So I got too many witnesses. So I'm like,
I don't think witnesses have ever been a
probably
problem.
Wouldn't matter
in
to Mexico. I'm thinking the United States side, you know, they probably keep on carrying the boxes with the bloodstream going down the thing there. But I'm hoping they're not going to kill me. So I'm seeing him move his boxes. He's like, man, I bought a chain of pharmacy. A chain, pharmacies. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, man, here's my business card. He gave me his business card and everything. He's like, I've had it for a couple of weeks. He's like, it was in the process last time you came. I wanted to tell you, but it wasn't for sure. He's like, I want to be for sure about my business dealings before I divulge them. He said, this is mine. He said, I have 3 more just like them.
So now he's retail and he's getting them from the wholesaler, the factory.
Just like factory, just like any other pharmacy would. Yeah.
So did you get a better price?
Same price. So
still at 10. You couldn't get him down anymore.
Nope. And, I didn't even ask him. I didn't even ask him, man. I said, this man, went bought pharmacy, a chain of pharmacies. Well, 3 anyway.
Yeah. And did he have other customers like you?
Yeah.
Other
because
Americans?
Look, whenever I was in the back getting them one time, we were counting them out. Okay, there's a wall here. You walk into the pharmacy, there's a register up here. There's a little cooler over here. You get your drinks, all kinds of little things here. And there's a little bitty plastic cutout square there, plexiglass, and there's a wall. And then you go back here like this. And that's where I was at watching people come in. And we were counting them there and stuff. He's like, you want something to drink? You all right, anything? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. He's like, how are you getting back to the border? I'm like, I don't know, probably walk, and take a cab. He's like, I got somebody. They would come pick us up, man. Take us all the way back into the line, Johnny. Yeah. There's lines. That one line says, no vehicles. I was telling him, hey, man, you can't go this far. Oh, we went all the way to the front, man.
Wow.
Yes, right there. And he jumps out, talks to the guard. I tell her, man, something's going to happen. He's talking to the Border Patrol, man.
The U.S. Border Patrol.
Yes, he let us in. Wow. When the guy come in the car, I was thinking, man, go ahead and tell me I'm busted. You're talking to the Border Patrol. No, he waved us on, man. We went all the way.
That is Sinaloa cartel activity.
Their territory.
That's their, and that's why so many bodies are dropping in TJ, because it's Jalisco and Sinaloa battling it out for those routes. That's what routes means. It's the people that you pay off to get your shit in. And this is, you witnessed that.
I was in the freaking vehicle. I got coat hairs, or my hair standing up on my arm like it was back then, man, because I started feeling, not important, but I'm like, I feel kind of like obligated, I kind of got a little bit of respect now.
Well, you're making this guy millions of dollars.
Now he's like a hedge. He told me I'm like a hedge fund investor.
Yeah.
He's like, I deal in meth, I deal in heroin, I deal in marijuana. He said, now you've opened a door for another opportunity, pills.
He's diversified.
Yes, he compared it being a hedge fund investor with diversification. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look at it like a business, Johnny.
So tell us about how all the fun comes to an end.
Yes, unfortunately it did.
What year was this?
This was in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happened?
So you were running for a while.
Yeah, heck yeah, I had a good little stretch, man. So what happened was, I feel, one time I got pulled over for a window tint in Jefferson County, Kentucky. And they said, we got you this ticket, rolling paraphernalia, window ticket. I said, okay, no problem. So I go, they send me a letter court. I go there. They said, no, you're not on the docket. I go in there and talk to the lady. There's some big dude in there, man, big buff guy. He's like, you Chris Arevalos? I said, yeah. And I'm like, who are you? And he's like, no, I just work here. And I'm telling that lady, what about my court date? You're not on the docket. I'm like, I got a thing in the mail. Nope. Okay. So now when we fly out there, I tell her, hey, man, I said, I got a bad feeling. You remember that guy? She's like, yeah. She's like, he just worked there, because she went with me to court, my girlfriend. She's like, don't worry. So we go to San Diego. I said, I want to go out there like on a little bitty, just a run with nothing. Let's go like a vacation. She says, okay. We go out there, man. I wake up the next morning. She's gone.
Your girlfriend's gone.
With the rental car and everything. So I got to walk across the road, get something. Here she comes, man. Where you been? She's got sand on her. Oh, I went to the beach, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We fly back to Louisville a couple of days later. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. You said not to get nothing. Oh, okay. Man, I'm grabbing my last check bag of check luggage. Chris Arevalos. Yeah. Turn around. Little bitty skinny dude, Nike windbreaker, gruffy hair, blue jeans, Nike shoes. FBI special agent, you're under arrest. I said, for what? He's like, traffic violation, Louisville, Kentucky, failure to appear. I said, what is the feds doing? Arrest me on an FTA, man, in Jefferson County, a county. He's like, come with me, I'll show you. But first, put your hands behind your back. I was like, okay.
And you're clean.
I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing, And I knew I had a feeling, man. So they take me back to the room. It's Homeland Security, Transportation Safety Administration, Drug Enforcement Administration, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the IRS, man. And I was all sitting around me, I'm handcuffed. He's like, yeah, we finally got you. This one guy kept saying that. Who you with? Who you with? And I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. Well, the FBI, he grabs his laptop. He said, this is how I was tracking you. He said, see all this right here? He said, that's your debit card. He said, show me where I was eating, the clothes I bought. Everything I did with that debit card had a date and time. He said, and you just did a wire transaction for 60-some thousand from Fifth Third in Louisville to Wells Fargo in San Diego. He said, you ain't got a pen in your pocket. He said, this was 2 days ago. He said, where's the money? And I ain't saying nothing, man. I'm like, damn, they got everything on that. All my debit card transactions,
Why are you using a debit card?
I wasn't thinking, Johnny, where am I from, Johnny?
Yeah,
okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
You were in the Marines.
Yeah, but they direct deposited.
You got an IQ of over 80 at least.
They were direct depositing all my stuff in the Marine Corps, man. All I did is have to train stuff. But I was thinking nothing, man. They're following me with my debit card transactions, man. I wasn't thinking nothing of that, Johnny, but they were, man.
Okay.
So that's what got them on me.
Okay.
They end up getting us for, so what happens was my phone rings. Oh, I can't get to it. It's my girl. He's, hey, yeah. And he holds it to me. I said, man, they got me arrested. I said, I'm going to jail. What? They run out after 10 minutes later. Here she comes. Well, you ain't got a prescription of this. I heard a bunch of bottles hit the freaking desk. I was like, man, she's got a prescription of Xanaxes from America. She's like, you ain't got prescription for these or these or these. 3 different kinds pills back there, man. She never had a prescription for them. So now they're charging us with simple possession or trafficking in Jefferson County. It's a state charge to begin with first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not oxys they have.
No.
Xanaxes,
some methadone. I think she had like maybe 60 some oxys, man. She had like 3 different types of pills.
So this is a case when the feds want to get you, but they don't have much. They
were on me.
Throw some at you.
They were on me. They thought this was the time. She had some things she had went over and got that morning, man, when I was in the bed. Yeah. So anyway, we're out on, I'll bond us both out, man. We're out on state charges, Louisville, Jefferson County, Kentucky. 30 days. I go back down there and tell him, Puma, hey, look, this is what happened. I'm not taking nothing back. I wasn't calling you. I just walked over. I didn't announce this time. I just walked over as son of a gun,
Where would you meet him when you walked over into Tijuana?
When I first would come over, the little bitty concrete things, you go down all that stuff. And then you hit all the taxis. There's like 50 taxis there. And then you walk there and there's a street. And the McDonald's was over here. And I would just keep walking down to the plaza, and he was over here on the left. Yeah, he had a hell of a little setup, fucking little labyrinth going on down through there and stuff, man. Yeah, it was real nice. Wow. Yeah, but I told him, what I just told you. I said, man, she has some pills, this and that. He's like, oh, man. He's like, yeah, just chill for a little bit. He's like, matter of fact, you're not coming back over here no more for a while. I said, why? He's like, see that dude? And I said, yeah, some big, tall, white dude, man, big dude, smokes cigarette. He said, he's going to meet you in San Diego from now on. He said, don't cross for a while. He said, you're hot. I said, okay, man.
Who was that big white dude?
I don't know. Still this day, I never
But he's working with them.
Yeah, he's working with them. Yeah, he's on the payroll. Yeah. Wow. He was totally off the radar spec, no criminal record. Yeah. Good guy. Passport, never suspected.
So you were started picking up pills on this side.
Yes,
from him.
I was gonna get him from over there.
Now, did your price go up?
Nope.
Okay, that's good of him.
Yeah, everything stayed. Yeah, he was very honorable.
So you dodged the state case.
Yeah, so I go back on my state case, the court date. And there's the FBI guy. He tells me, hey, come here. I got somebody I want you to meet. And I said, my lawyer didn't tell you I'm not cooperating. He says, got nothing to do with cooperation. So I go over there. Some dude talking. About 30 seconds later, you Chris Arevalos? I said, yeah. He said, put your hands behind. He said, first of all, DA. He said, special agent, something DA, you're under arrest. I said, for what? I just got arrested 30 days ago. He said, you got bumped to federal. And he said, there's not going to be no bond. He said, I know your partners over there are going to come try to get you. He said, you're not going nowhere. I said, what? He said, I already talked to the judge. He said, you think you're going to bond out? He said, you ain't got no bond. This is even before I went to court, man. They have plans for me, man. So they take me to Odin County, LaGrange, Kentucky, federal holdover. I go to the court day and stuff. It's federal, man. Possession. Simple possession, man.
And this is how this whole story starts?
Yep.
So they never popped you with like a big
I never
load?
got caught with one pill, Johnny. Not one pill. 60 months federal prison sentence.
That's up.
Yeah, I never got caught one pill, man.
So you got sentenced to 5.
Yeah, 60 months. They do it in the months in the feds.
You took a
5
plea?
years. Yep, a locked plea. Because my lawyer was telling me, hey, man, there's a B plea and a C plea. If you go in there with no locked plea, you and the United States Attorney General come to agreement, okay, we agreed 120 months. You go in there, final sentencing to the United States, the federal judge, he can bump it if he wants, and you can't do nothing.
You had no on you.
Nothing. Well, I had some priors, man.
Which
had
were?
some priors. Priors, possession of marijuana, I think it was, and possession of pills.
Right.
Yeah.
When you were a junkie.
Yes. Everybody gets
Weren't
caught
you
with them.
able to, I mean, it seems like that's something you could fight. A good lawyer could be like, hey, he's a junkie, he relapsed.
Man, they were already talking about how many times you cry. First, they were wanting cooperation. They was like, look, I can get this 60 knocked down to like 42, 36 or 42 months. I'm like, you know better than that.
Yeah.
I said, so go back and tell them, let's start with something besides that idea.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Sure.
She's like, there is no idea. It's 60 months, man.
So 60 pills got you 60 months?
Pretty much.
Wow.
But I didn't have them. She had them.
Is there a quantity?
Yes.
Like, could you tell us that? You know,
Yes.
5 kilos is a minimum, 10 years.
Yeah,
What about pills?
Yeah, the lawyers telling me the way they convert everything to marijuana somehow or another.
Interesting.
Like if you get caught with cocaine,
Yeah.
a kilo, they compare it to be like maybe 100 pounds of marijuana. Everything you get caught with, whatever, heroin, meth, they have a marijuana scale. And the feds government compares everything to the marijuana, man.
So it's like pegged to marijuana.
Yes.
Interesting.
And like however much of whatever other drug you have, like that'll determine how much pounds of marijuana it would be. Everything's converted to the marijuana, even the pills.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it was like they told me the pills you got caught with was like equivalent of being caught with like 250 pounds of marijuana. Yeah.
Which could get you a minimum 10.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, I never got caught with no marijuana. What are you talking about? He's like, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I'm like, man.
Do you looking back, do you think your lawyer was good or was he?
Oh, he was a piece of crap.
He was a dump truck.
Yeah, he was a piece of crap.
Didn't you have lawyer money?
Yeah, I had lawyer money. I had a good lawyer. Oh, what? So what's going on is this is for later. But I'm out on a case from Scott County for intimidation confinement. I had a dude locked up in the trunk, and he escaped to the trunk. And then when he pressed charges, it had confinement intimidation. I pled guilty. Boom, the feds bust me, but I have an open case, man. Yeah, I'm probation in Scott County, Indiana, and I can't get back to it, so it gives me detainer, and it messes my point system up, and they send me to hell, USP hell. But, yeah, so that's how that worked, man, like that.
Okay, so
Yeah. So that lawyer from the Indiana with confinement, he was top notch, good lawyer. Got it dropped down to a misdemeanor, intimidation. I tell him, hey, I got a Fed case. You know anybody? I can't practice in Kentucky. This guy can. I went like that. He's a freaking state lawyer. Had no business about federal.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting on a pile of money. Whenever I leave. Plead guilty from Odom County, they had to call me downstairs. You have a substantial amount of money. We want to make sure this is correct, your address and everything on this check, you know, and stuff.
Yeah, well, you're from a tiny little nowhere place, so even a federal lawyer could suck.
Man,
right? It's not like being in the middle of Manhattan.
I didn't have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, wow. So now it's 5 years, baby, 60 months.
Yes.
And your points are already getting you shot.
Increased me 6 points.
So do you go right to a USP?
Yes, I was supposed to go to medium, but where they had me on a 6-point detainer, it gave me 6 points. The detainer's worth 6 points in the Fed classification system. Now they give me 6 points. That bumps me to United States Penitentiary status. I'm with the big boys, man.
Hey.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what you're walking into?
I have no idea, other when the guards telling me to get a shank when I got there. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, he told me. But then he tells me, yeah, if you get caught with one, I'm going to give you 5 years for everyone you get caught with. He just told me to better get one.
Wow. Where'd you go first?
Big Sandy.
Wow.
At the time, it was the most dangerous federal prison in America, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so dangerous, Johnny, that the yard, they had to split it into 4 sections, man, because people would just be huddled up. They would stomp and stab somebody to death. Yeah. Then they would separate. You would have a body there. No cameras, no witnesses.
Wow.
So they had to split it up into 4 sections, man.
People were getting murdered.
Oh, yeah, they were fighting for power in the beginning over there. When Chad Marks was over there, yeah, he was over there when the worst time. They were fighting for power. I mean, they were killing people over places sitting in the chow hall.
Wow. So who was fighting?
Well, they were fighting over there. The Mexican Mafia was trying to establish control and power, and they did.
Who had control before?
It was a brand new prison. They just opened up in like 2006, so it just been open for like 4 years. So they had DC, the DC blacks over there. They had some NLR, Nazi lowrider. They had Aryan Brotherhood of Texas over there. They had a Texas Mexican Mafia and the California Mexican Mafia. But the California Mexican Mafia was the supreme, and they ruled everything.
And that's where the foundation of the Mexican Mafia is. It's out here.
Yes, from Cali, from what I understand.
Okay, so who do you click up with when you get there?
When I get there, I had to have your paperwork. You have to have your paperwork walking them USPs. It's just not anybody can walk. And then that means be able to live there, basically, on the compound. So when I get there, they read my paperwork. Is any good? They tell the other guard, he don't have any kitty charges. He didn't rat anybody. So he can walk if he chooses. And there was like 15 of us, man, there. And they told us, hey, he comes in there. Does anybody here have any homosexual tendencies? Need to speak up now, or everybody turn face that way and you go to the middle. And I'm just standing there with my face this way, man. And he's like, does anybody else had any with a child or somebody young? And if you do, step in the middle. I'm standing there. And he's like, if you cooperate with anybody, step in the middle.
What the?
Yeah, or if you just don't want to be here and get transferred to somewhere else, step in the middle. So I'm standing there, and they said, okay. And then opens the door, man.
What's the point of that, real quick?
Oh, because if you're a offender or you rat on somebody, they will kill you, man.
You're not going to walk out of there.
As soon as you get back there.
So they're doing you a favor.
They're doing them and the government a favor and you a favor. They won't have to go back there and get no dead body off the floor.
Yeah. If it were me, I don't have either of those problems, but I'd be like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I mean, they gave that option too.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
So they said, step in the middle. So the door opens, man. You know, you hear some chains. I'm thinking, well, damn, somebody's leaving. I hear the chains, you know. Man, I turn back around, John. I'm the only son of a beer standing there. I'm the only one there out of 15 people. They're all gone.
But he got out of there.
Yes, whatever those options, whatever, or they didn't want to be there. Me, I'm thinking, I don't know any better, man. You know, they always told me and them holdovers, when you get to wherever you're going, he's like, just keep going. Go hard, though. And don't ever, flinch or backstep. No weakness, man. Just keep going. So that's all I can hear. Right. You know, I don't have any of that anyway, stuff. So hell with it. I'm riding.
And you're a soldier.
Yeah, I'm a Marines. I'm thinking too, if you did something good enough or bad enough to get yourself sent to United States Penitentiary, Big Sandy, then you're a pretty cool dude anyway, or a pretty badass dude anyway, Man. So I'm going to roll the dice, man. So they come in there. He says, my gang coordinator going to talk to you. He's like, you got a 033 number. He's like, you're not with, and you're coming from California. He's not with those people out there with the mafia. And I don't know anybody or anything about that stuff. I'm from Kentucky, like you see. He's like, okay. So the gang coordinator comes in. He's like, man, you're awful dark. He said, but you got a hell of a country accent. He's like, you got two choices with that Spanish last name. You either run with the white boys, he said, or the Mexican mafia is going to pick you up. And I said, man, I don't know what to do. And he said, the best thing for you to do is have some sense about yourself like them other 14, man. He said, there ain't no shame about it. Nobody even knows you're here. Wow. And I said, yeah, but I know I'm here. And I said, I'm not going to be back there around that, sitting with them dudes, man. I feel if I'm here already, then I can make it the rest of the way. He's like, what you better do is better get you a knife as soon as you get back there. He said, but if I catch you with one, I'm going to give you 5 years. He said, take him back there. He said, the mafia is going to pick him up.
And so when you get into Big Sandy, the administration is literally recommending what gang you should be in.
Yeah, they tell you. That's what he told me. Yeah, he said, you can ride with the white boys. He said, with your Spanish last name and your dark, he's like, more than likely you're going to go with the Mexicans. He's like, they're going to be all over you, man. Wow. Send him back there. I get back there. It's an empty cell. Here comes a real Native American guy, Indian. He's like, hey, man, are you Indian? I said, no. I said, my dad's Hispanic, mom's white. He's like, hold on. Like 2 minutes later, man, here comes 3 big Mexican dudes, man. Freaking gold teeth, Versace glass frames, tattoos. He's like, hey, man, how many come with you? I said, 15. I'm the only one that come back. He's like, you Mexican? I said, my dad. He's like, come with us, man. Who you with? And I said, I'm not with nobody. So we're going to take you upstairs. So there was like 2 in front of me and 1 behind me. They're walking me up the stairs, and there's a dude in there, MS-13. He's an MS-13, and he's getting a big-ass tattoo, some highlights of MS-13 on his stomach, and another soldier's putting on him. His name was Puppet, man. He's cool, and he's a real good tattoo artist. So he's tattooing over him, and they tell me, hey, man, he's like, your paperwork looks good. And he's like, where are you from? I said, Indiana. They said, you're not with no gang. I said, no, I'm not with no gang. They said, take your clothes off. So I took my shirt off. I'm standing there with my pants, and they said, you got to take everything off, man. I took my my pants off. I got my boxers on. They said, okay. They said, now turn around. I turn around, and them dudes had their shanks out, Johnny. Yeah, the smallest one was probably about that long, man. Yeah, the rest of them looked like, and I'm thought, oh, it's a sick joke. You know what I'm saying? Where in the hell are they going to get a piece of iron that long? Yeah. Sharp and that good. I'm thinking it's a sick joke, But then they tell me, hey, you have 2 choices, man. He's like, 1, you can run Christian. You can go to this program over here. He said, that's where everybody goes that don't want to be here, man. Or you can come with us, the Mexican Mafia. And not as bad as it sounds. He's like, from here on out, you'll be untouchable in the federal prison system, wherever you go, man, if you're under our banner. I said, okay. He's like, you need a minute to think about it? I said, no. He's like, good, because you ain't got a minute. Yeah, I said, no, I'm good with you guys, man. I said, I'm cool. I'm down with whatever. He's like, yeah, I knew you was cool, man. I knew you'd be down with it, he said. He's like, get him downstairs and take care of him. They gave me 2 big launder bags full of brand new stuff, Johnny. Yeah. Plastic sweats in the plastic, or sweats in the plastic, all new hygiene. Food you couldn't even get on that compound, man. They had bought from people that brought it in. All nice stuff. They hooked me up real sweet, man. Took good care of me that first day.
So they're running the prison.
Hell yeah, they're running the prison. Literally. The guards told me. Yeah, he's like, you're going to get with them back there. He's like, you'll be all right because they run the prison. He said everything. He said even down to the weights, to the dip bar out on the yard. He said there's 2. He's like, they have the best one. Everything here, they have the best of everything. Right. That's what they tell me about them.
Because they're ready to kill.
They'll kill you in a second.
And are these Mexican Americans, Chicanos?
Yeah, some of them are Chicanos, man, but every one of them is black. I seen one white boy, a soldier in there, but he was from a hood out here in Cali. Okay. It seemed like every one of them was from a hood in California, but me, man, every one of them.
So where in California?
Well, one of them was here in Florence, man.
That's right.
Downtown here in Florence, one that I'm in contact with to this day, very close to him.
And they call that Florencia. That's the street gang.
Yeah, Florencia.
And they're super ruthless and infamous down here in South LA.
Yeah, they were supposed to have one of the biggest busts ever, a few years ago.
And can you tell us who that individual is?
Yeah, Alberto Hernandez. And I want to say that when I met him in there, man, he was one of the most nicest, kindest gentlemen that I've ever met in my life. And he pushed me to do the right things in life, and reading the right materials, keep my mind sharp. He's totally against drugs and alcohol. When I was in there, he was like, look, we'll talk and do whatever, man. But he's like, I don't associate with anybody that does anything to harm their bodies, like drinking or drugs and stuff.
What was he locked up for?
He has double life plus 60. He has a whole host of charges, false charges, I believe, the RICO charges, attempted murder charges, possession charges, and it needs another look at. He had Chad Marks look at his case.
So he's a gang leader that got caught up as a kingpin of whatever indictment.
That's what they say about him. They say, yes, he was with the top.
Oh, okay. So now you're here, it's weird. It's funny, like cholos, Hispanics, if they like you, they're real cool. They're really nice guys.
That's true.
If they like you.
Yes.
Did they have any Mexicans running with them, or was it all Chicanos?
No, there was some,
Spanish-speaking Mexicans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every one of them spoke Spanish. Yeah, every one of them was from out here. Okay. Now, there was some that were illegal, that just come in as soldiers, they're going to be deported, not going to be here in California, but they ran together. All the Mexicans ran together under the Mexican Mafia. Right. Even MS-13.
Now, can you explain the structure of the Mexican Mafia and how that related to Big Sandy?
Basically,
where the orders come from, and all that.
Basically, what I can say about that, is in Big Sandy, from what I know, every unit, has someone in charge, of course, that's over the whole unit. You have a problem with another race or internal, you go to him. If they can't squash it, then it goes to whoever is over the whole thing, the whole B unit. There's
Right.
B1, 2, 3, and 4. You have a shot caller for 1, 2, and 3, and 4 separate. Then you have one that's over the whole thing. If you can't squash it and B1 your problem, then you take it to the high that's over the whole B. If they can't squash it, then it goes to the top
of that prison.
Of the prison.
Are you aware of that person, the commander of the whole prison? Is he in contact with people in California, which is the headquarters?
I'm sure it is, but yes, I had the opportunity to meet him.
Wow.
The made man.
Wow.
Yes, and it was a very, very thrilling opportunity, scary, but it was thrilling at the same time. I had a question that I needed to ask him, and it took me a couple of days to get the nerve up, man. But you have to be careful the way you present yourself when you speak to these people, Johnny.
Yeah. Surreal.
Yeah. They'll kill you in a heartbeat, man, over this little thing.
And who was this man? Can you say his name?
I'll just say that his name was
Carlos.
I don't. Okay, yeah, we'll say his name is Carlos. Yeah, we'll say his name is Carlos. But yeah, he's here from California, man, from Norwalk.
Okay.
Yeah, from Norwalk.
So,
but the federal government's completely aware he was in charge of Big Sandy. They know who he was because every Saturday, man, we had to come out. It was his thing. He made everybody, every soldier, come out and greet him every morning.
Wow.
Look, Monday through Sunday, Friday, or Sunday you do whatever, but Saturday it's mine. You come to me. And I would be in line for like 10 minutes, man. The whole line. Yeah. Right in the middle of the yard, man.
Wow.
A rec yard. And the guard was right behind him and like 4 of his bodyguards. And he was just sitting there and you would have to shake his hand.
Wow.
Every one of them.
Like a king.
Like 500 of us.
Like you're like kissing the ring of a king.
I was in the Marine Corps with generals and high-ranking officers. I had never seen anybody as powerful as that man, Big Sandy.
What made him so powerful?
Oh, because he could come here, go kill him. Seconds, the man would be dead. Wow. Dead. And he could do it with anybody.
Was it just his character? Or was it the fact that he had killed and proven himself so much that now everybody's listening to him?
Everybody knew that was a fact. But his character also, he was a very, very mean individual, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes. And now, I just wanted to look at him in the eye, shake his hand, and go about my business, man.
Yeah, it's a guy you want to like you, too.
Yes, yes. But at the same time, every one of us would have did whatever he says, man.
Now, he's not isolated. He's not in solitary.
He was out there. He was out there with us,
So
man.
at this time in Big Sandy, they let the shot callers be in the general population.
Yes, because it was better for the federal government, for he could control his people.
Right. That's
because
how it is.
Yes, because if you make him mad and he puts the order out on whoever, guard, anybody, I don't want to scare nobody in the prison, but it don't matter who you are, man. It's over. And I feel that they would rather, hey, let him out there around the people. Let's keep him, man, happy.
Now, what about drug trafficking and running the rackets in prison? Were they doing that?
I was doing that. I sold more heroin and crystal meth in Big Sandy than I ever did on the streets of Austin.
Wow.
Yes.
All right,
I'm talking black tar heroin, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I would get that from the DC Blacks, man. I had a connection. I don't know where this dude, he got it. He had a plug there on Big Sandy. And he would come around and he would tell me like a day or two, hey, get your money together. I can give you a gram for $600. And a gram of heroin is like the size of a peanut.
Yeah.
M&M peanut,
yeah.
That's about the size. You get $600 for that.
$600 for that.
Yes, it's not no gram. I'll tell you that. It's a prison gram, they call it. But what I'm doing to it, Johnny, is I'm getting me a potato chip bag and I'm cutting that bag in half and I'm cutting little bitty strips about that long, about that wide. And I'm taking my peanut and I'm rolling it out to where it's real thin. You can see the light in it. It's real thin. And then I would just make 50 pieces. Wow. They would call them papers, papelitos, little papers, they call them. And I would sell little papers of $50, man.
And how something that small?
Yes,
how are people getting high off that?
I'll tell you how they're getting high off of it. You can get high off of it 2 ways. One way you can do it is you can take you some water and warm it up in the microwave, put it in that plastic spoon, and then swirl it around, dissolve it, and snort it. Or I can get you a binky for $20.
Binky's an outfit.
You know what it is. That's crazy, man. You know what that
I've been around.
Yeah, nobody ever knew what a binky was but you. You're the only one.
Wow.
That's
Maybe
crazy.
I should go to Big Sandy.
No, not for a binky, Johnny.
No,
You're doing good.
Yeah, thanks,
Stay here, man.
Yeah. So off a peanut that you paid $600 for.
Yeah.
What are you turning that around?
I'm making 12. Yes, I'm killing them.
That's wild.
I'm killing them, man. I can't keep enough of it, man.
Wow. And so this was just your connect amongst the Mexicans.
That was just a DC Black connect.
Yeah.
Now, other people have it's difficult to get a connect in federal prison because somebody is going out there, that visitor, and bringing that stuff in. And if you don't know them, you ain't in.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know somebody, don't know them. I got as high as I could up on the ladder in there.
Okay, explain that. What do you mean? Like in terms of a connect?
As far as a connect, a lot of people are going to like the store man that sells stuff. Everybody's going in there getting stuff. So let's give him some heroin and push it on somebody. You're probably like the 4th, 5th man down from the top, the store man. I'm probably the 3rd, man.
Yeah. Wow. What about crystal meth? How does that market work in there?
Yeah, man. They come to me one time, gave me a big ass rock of crystal meth.
DC Blacks too?
No, these are the Mexicans.
Right.
Yeah, these were the Mexicans, man.
Yeah.
They come in there. They said, here. They used to give me weed all the time. I first started selling weed for them. Little bitty ass joint. Barely even had anything. I said, man, what am I supposed to do with this? They said, those goes for 15. Trust me, nobody in your unit got none. I went back in there. I told the store man, it was gone like 5 minutes.
Wow.
All 10 joints I had, man. $150 I made, about 10 minutes.
Well,
they
makes
love
sense.
me, man. I push it. They give it to me. It's gone. Give it to machine. Machine will push it, man.
So you were distributing it for the people bringing it in.
Yes, because I was kind of off the radar. And another thing they told me, you're not as reckless as us. Yeah. They said, you're more patient, more methodical. They told me you're more methodical than the way you approach things. Us, we just kill everything right then. We'll sort it out later, whether it's our mistake, not you. So I was like, you can build a gap with these other races. And now I perfected that, man. I perfected that because their policy in there don't go outside your race with no type of business, man, at all in them USPs. They can't cook for you. No other race cannot be fixing you food. Prefer if you go to a Mexican store, don't even go to a black and white store. Keep it in the La Raza, the race. Yes, everything. So I was able to go to the blacks and get the good price. Now I can put my homeboys on. I can go to the Italians and get the meth, because they know, hey, that's the guy that's selling all the weed all the time. That's the guy selling all the heroin all the time. He's good at it. We'll give him this. He's brown. No, but he's cool, man. He's cool.
Did you have to keep your relationship with the DC Black?
What I had to do
secret?
Is kick money upstairs. I'm not keeping secrets from the mafia, Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm kicking it upstairs. 30%.
Wow. So you figure there's got to be a handful of you guys kicking 30% up to
everybody's
the kingpin.
Supposed to.
So
and everybody's supposed to hustle, they said.
Yeah.
Everybody here is going to hustle. You're not just going to be laying around not doing nothing.
Right.
And I think the reason they wanted to hustle because 30% is going up.
Of course.
Why not?
Of course. So he's collecting like a mafia king.
You got tattoos, guys giving tattoos. 30% of the $200 tattoo. The store man, 30%.
Yeah. Get out of line. You're getting that. You're getting that bone crusher.
Yeah, I'm good at those too.
So
I made my first one.
Okay, how do you make bone crushers?
Well, one day.
Tell us what a bone crusher is, in case you haven't seen the show before.
A bone crusher is what it is. It's a piece of metal sharpened and filed down so far and so big that when it goes in your opponent, it crushes your bone. Because you got some of them they call stickers, little shanks about this big is going to stick you. Might hit an organ, not mine. No, I'm going to crush them bones, man, when it's going in you. Because I'm a little guy. I'm going to push that thing hard as I can. It's going to crush that rib cage.
Were you strapped when you were walking around?
Hell yeah, I was strapped. Not with the bone crusher. I kept that for special purposes only.
For riots?
For wars.
Yeah.
For the war. But I always kept one on me. And Johnny, they have metal detectors when you come out of them units. Anytime you go to the yard and you come back in. But so how do you beat the metal detector? I'll tell you how to beat it. I learned it in the Marine Corps. Those boots in prison, Johnny, I'd take the inside of it, got that hard plastic cap inside of it, Johnny. And then I would from the Unicore sewing machines, you get the oil and it burns forever on top of them pop cans. I'll get me a little bitty flame going. I would freaking sit there and get that freaking plastic melted, and I sit there and form it for hours, drop it on the floor, run water on my hands, cool it off, get it back, hot again. Man, I ended up getting me a nice little piece, John. I could walk out on the yard, and it went through the metal detector every time.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like metal detectors stop anything at USPs.
No, we always come up with something to go around it.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time.
Now, Unicore.
I worked in there.
So we had our good friend, Unique Mecca, shout out. I call him Unk. You know, real big kingpin back in the day.
Yeah.
He was at Big Sandy. He was at Lewisburg. He got called down by the guards working at the Unicore or supervising the Unicore. And all those cats working were junkies when he was there. And they were like, look, just keep bringing the heroin in. Do not stop. Whatever you do.
The government?
The government said, do not stop bringing in this smack because we need these Unicore guys working like slaves because they have contracts. What the products they're making, they got to fire these things out, you know?
It makes sense.
It's
man.
big business.
Yes.
So did you know the Unicore workers were getting high? Like who are your customers?
That's most of them that were in there were getting high.
Because they're getting paid and they can buy a $50 piece.
Yeah, because Unicore, that's the highest paying job in a Bureau of Prisons is Unicore. And at Big Sandy, we made military jackets. And the reason I went in there is to get some of that oil. You know, that's why I got that job. I went in there. But a lot of those dudes, Johnny, man, they were strung out and they were using that Unicore money to pay their debt off.
Right.
You know, they were coming to me when they would get close to paying their debt off, 40, 50. Hey, can I get another papelito? And I'd be like, man, let's get it down to 20 first, you know, at least.
Did you ever have a problem with debt collection?
Hell no. One time I did off this dude named Albert from Kansas. He ran a store. And then what happened is he ended up getting some stamps off me. And he wasn't paying them, but he was always having people paying him on store day. He would see everybody going to him. I'm thinking, how does he not have this? So my shot caller tells me, hey, has he ever paid you yet? I said, he keeps saying next week. He said, go ask him again. I went and asked him, this and that, same story. I went and told him, okay, he tells me, okay. So later on that night, they're drinking. My homeboys are drinking White Lightning. And he sees me talking to Albert. We're just talking, you know, shooting. Man, he sees us talking. He comes down there. Did you tell him again? I said, before I said anything, I was going to tell him we're talking about the ball game, man. Hey, go up there now. Everything in your house that's worth $50, any and everything. He said, get it out and put it on the bed. He said, we'll be up there in 10 minutes. He said, this and that. He said, I don't want to hear nothing. The dude went up there. 10 minutes later, me and my homeboy get up there. He's got everything laid on his bed. He said, now you get your $50 worth. They said, I'm going to get my 20 for the problem.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my $50 worth of stuff, man.
They're operating like they are on the streets almost.
Out of fear, man.
Almost like with impunity.
Nobody's doing nothing to them in there.
God, that's
They're home.
When is the first real gruesome acts of violence that you can remember when you were there?
Yeah, I'll tell you the first dead body I walked over. We were going to chow. I'm in B3, so we have to go downstairs. We're in the ladder well. They never rolled the door open. We're like in there for 10 minutes, man, waiting. Finally, they rolled the door open. There was a dead body, dead dude laying there. He had a little bit of blood there. Eyes was still open. And I fish a lot. I'm a country boy. I know what a fish looks like when you keep him out of the water. It has like a little haze over their eyes. Yeah. This dude had a haze. He'd been there for a minute. I'm paralyzed. I'm standing in front of him. There's a whole unit behind me. DC Blacks, Nazi Lowriders, Aryan Brotherhood. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm froze. My homeboy, keep walking. I can't keep walking. They grab me, man, like this, and they carry me over the dead body, man. Yeah, I'm looking back. He's like, man, you've got to keep going,
Don't stop.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
So on the line for chow, all these different races are just stepping over this guy like he's not even there.
Because it's not very wide.
Yeah.
You know, where you walk.
Wow.
Yeah. And here's the thing. When we come back from chow, he's still laying there. Yeah, still laying there. I'm like, we've been gone for 15 minutes to chow, man. But when we went out to the yard that night, he had finally been gone. There was an inmate out there sweeping or mopping the blood up.
Yeah.
Stuff.
The
Finally
blood, there was like a blood cleanup crew.
There was, man. It was the same dude every time because there was another death out there about a year later, and it was the same dude out there. He's like, they pay me extra. He's telling everybody, laughing at him, you'd pay me extra, he said.
Imagine that. There's so much violence that it necessitates a blood cleanup crew.
The blood cleanup crew. And they pay him a little extra for hazardous duty, they said, because the blood.
Now, you know, especially amongst the whites, there's really no fist fighting, and there's very little violence amongst other groups, unless it's a war, of course, right? When people are getting gutted and stabbed up, it's usually discipline, but amongst their own gang. It is. Now, did La Eme operate kind of the same way?
Yes, every race. Yeah. And one dude, they put him on soups, man. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Put it on soups, it means where they kick your teeth out, and you can't eat nothing but soups, man. Johnny, I've seen it, man. And listen, first of all, I want to say this about the people we're talking about. I respect those people, the mafia, and I would never say anything to hurt them. You know, they're very nice to me, and they took good care of me. What they do out here or whatever, that's their business. But I know they're very serious. And this guy that I'm talking about, that they put him on soups, what had happened, he was on a yard, and he was getting ready to get caught with that shank, so he throws it. And an important person near them, and he gets trouble for it. The important person.
No.
We know it's all bad. We know it's all bad. We just don't know. We're going to have to kill him, stab him, what we're going to have to do to the guy. But something's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
You know, and he's looking down set already because he's thinking, I know it's coming, man.
Yeah.
About 2 days later, man, we're all sitting there, we know, watching TV chopping up. You see 3 mother effers coming up from a different unit with boots on. From a different unit. It was the hit squad, Johnny. It was the man. So here they come. Dude automatically goes in his cell. We know who they're coming, why they're coming.
And so he's accepting his fate.
Yeah,
he doesn't know if he's getting killed in there.
No, but he just walks on in the cell.
Like
I
a
guess
soldier.
he'd rather have it in there, you know, than out here in public, man. So he goes in there. You hear him in there, man. You hear the screams and stuff, yeah. And I go to my room, you know, and then about 10 minutes later, they come get me and stuff. Hey, man, you know, go down there and warm the soup up and stuff. I go down there and warm the soup up. I go on there. Somebody else is cleaning the blood up and stuff. Homeboy's laying on the bed and stuff, holding his freaking already puffed up out to there. He can't tell you like this right here or anything like that. He can't even open his mouth, Johnny. He's doing that for like a week.
Yeah.
He didn't leave the unit, nothing.
Did they save his teeth?
No, they kicked his teeth in, man.
Okay, but you didn't put him on ice and go to the dentist. Oh.
No, they didn't. But he had a whole front grill up top and bottom. And on soups, what that is I don't know how many soups I've fixed the dude. All he could do is like barely had a straw and like put it in his mouth, suck on it. That's putting you on soups. When
so they spared his life, though.
Yeah, they spared his life.
Now, did you ever witness or an order to kill somebody?
I never witnessed it, but I heard the plot to it. Yeah, I heard the plot.
What did that do to you?
It made me realize it could get anybody, me too.
Were you worried that you were gonna get that order?
Well, here's how.
Because you're a short timer.
Yes, and here's how I took it, man. Because I heard stories of this one dude. He's got life now. He had like 10 days left, and something happened, and it was just happened to be his turn. He was just up for it. Dude ended up dying. Dudes end up dying. They charge him and 2 other dudes with the murder. 10 days left.
What happened? What were the
He's doing life.
What were the circumstances?
For that?
Yeah.
They say he was talking to a younger girl through the letters, and the guard told him. The guard told on him.
Wow.
Yes.
This was a Mexican Mafia?
Yes. The guard told him.
And they were just supposed to punish him?
Man, I don't know what they did, but they said they stabbed him like 32 times. He ended up dying. Yeah. I asked that time. I was close to somebody who was in his unit. I said, what'd he do? He said he was riding an underage girl, and the guard told whatchamacallit.
And he was getting ready to get out. Then he got the order.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there any kind of consideration for, hey, this guy's going home?
There is no consideration.
Like, this guy's got 10 days left. Like, go with
God.
God,
If they
vaya
even
con
thought
Dios.
that you considered it, they would kill you. You know what I'm saying? If they're sitting there, okay, Johnny, you got to go do this. we know you got 10 days. If you even look funny or look like you don't want to do it or any of that shit, they're going to kill you, man. You better go over and do it and take a chance that the dude don't die. If not, you're going to die.
Now, did you take any of this into consideration? Like, what have I got myself into? I'm a relatively smart guy. I'm a good drug dealer. I shouldn't be doing all this thug shit. I'm with some dangerous people that really, maybe this guy cared about you, right? But a lot of those, the Kingpin, the Godfather, didn't care about you.
They were like a chess piece on a board.
Right.
Whatever he needed to do to advance his whatever.
So in the back of your mind, did that worry you?
Yeah, after the first 2 months, because it took me about 6 months, man, to finally get conform to the rules and the regulations of these people. You know, the rules and all the laws and stuff. It took me about 6 months, man. You know, in that process, you know, I was like, I'll never be the same. I remember making the phone call to my stepmom, Phyllis. Hey, Ma, and I was like, she's like, you're all right, bub? I'm like, no. She's like, I can tell something wrong. What's wrong? I said, I'm never going to be the same again, Phyllis. I said, you remember me whenever I was before, you know? I said, I don't think I'm ever going to be that way again. You know, soft-spoken, of course, well-mannered, charismatic, but, you know, inside I've had to change my heart while I was here. And I've never been the same, Johnny.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy. You sound like a guy that's come back from war, from Vietnam, from Iraq.
Man. But this was a very war in a confined space, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. Wow. Did you ever get disciplined yourself?
Nope. I walked the line. And I even heard him say it one time. Somebody told me they got in trouble, and he's like, nothing serious, you know. They had to do a bunch of burpees and stuff. I think they didn't go outside or something on a Saturday. Nothing serious. They had to do like 1,000 burpees. I was like, man, you good? And he's like, yeah. They was like, they said your name. I said, what? They said, man, why don't you just walk the line like Machine? He never does wrong, and he'll do anything.
Right.
They didn't know that I didn't have any sense not to do anything. You know, I didn't know any better.
Right.
You know, like you say, you don't really realize it, Johnny. You know what you're doing, man. You're just caught up.
How did your relationship with, I'm sorry, what is this? Alberto.
Yes.
How did this start to change you for the better?
Well, when I left Big Sandy, whenever I'd walk around the yard with him at one Saturday morning, everybody was looking at him. All the Crips, the DC Blacks and everybody, all the black gangs. And I told him, hey, man, these people looking at you. He's like, they do it every time it happens. And I'm thinking, what happens? Walk around again, and white boys say, hey, man, we're going to watch you tonight, this and that. And then the Mexicans, hey, man, yeah, we got some popcorn, da-da-da. I'm like, man, what are they talking about? He's like, you don't know about my show I have? I said, no. He's like, yeah, I'm on Gangland, man, Spike TV. Yeah, and he said, the blacks don't like it when it comes out, you know. I was over in Florence, you know, Florence and Firestone, you know, or whatever they say he was doing and stuff. So, yeah, he's a pretty famous guy, man. So, you know, he kind of mentored me, man, guided me, you know, don't be, you know, no gay, no gambling, no drugs, no alcohol, man. You'll be all right, you know. So I kept in contact with him, you know, after I left, you know, send him books. He guides me, you know.
Would he have had your back? Did he want to see you go home?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Because here's what happened one time. I told somebody, hey, I want to do something. I want to do something to make me recognizable. I want to take a step, man.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, that means anything. You know that, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I know that. He's like, anything. I said, yeah. And then a couple of days later, he's like, hey, he's like, you're going home. I said, what do you mean? Wow. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, I got not him or anybody. I'm not going to say him. Got something better for you out there. Got something better for you. You want to put in work? I got some work for you. He says, not going to ever want to be illegal. He said, I trust you, Chris, man. Just like the people that, you know, you're with before, they trust you. You're trustworthy, man. I know you. And, man, I just been doing things for him, man, throughout the years. I called Chad Marks, you know.
Right.
Hey, what's up, you know.
Interesting. So he was like, okay, I can use this guy to do work for me. So let's make sure he goes home.
Yes.
Woo.
And I didn't try to make
get out of jail free card.
Yes, I can put the bone crusher up.
Yeah, that's right.
know?
That's right.
Yeah, I can put it up. But I wasn't planning on it going that way. I don't want nobody thinking, hey, that was my intention, you know, because these people, you got to do whatever they they say.
Right.
You know?
So you were ready to go kill somebody to make a name.
Yeah.
Why did you decide you got this good hustle going? You're selling heroin, you're selling meth, you're selling weed. Why did you feel like you wanted to make a name within the organization?
Man, because I seen the way they treated the people that did.
Yeah.
One time, one of them had me carry some grapefruits out of the chow for him. So we're coming out. He's walking with me. The guards are standing there. You got anything on you? No. They pull me over. He's pat me down, pulls my grapefruits out, sets it down. Here comes the guy back with me with a grapefruit, eating it in front of him. Nobody eats a grapefruit in federal prison, especially in front of the guard, man.
Right.
They just searched me and took mine. I'm trying to conceal mine.
Yeah.
This dude's eating out in the open.
Yeah.
He comes back eating his grapefruit. Those are mine. Told the guard, those are my grapefruits. He said, gets them off the windowsill, gives them back to me. I didn't know. We're off to the unit.
Power
Over a federal guard, man.
Wow.
Yes.
The federal government.
Government,
He
man.
tells them, no, peasant.
Yes.
Those are mine.
Yes, because they told me the warden had to talk with this guy when he got there. Hey, whatever we can do to accommodate you, man. That's what they told me.
He's that dangerous.
That powerful, and they knew it, man. Is nobody untouchable, Johnny?
Right.
Nobody.
Well, guards have been touched in federal
Oh,
prison.
yes. To make an example.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They don't run it, man. The mafia runs it, man.
Do you, at Big Sandy, do you think during your time La M was it, or were DC Blacks more powerful, the white boys?
No, the Mexican Mafia is supreme on any yard they're at. They control that yard. I don't care what the numbers are. We were outnumbered, man. DC Black was like 900. There was only like 450, 500 of us. The rest white boys, man.
Really?
It doesn't matter. Their reputation alone throughout the federal prison system is supreme.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, they were, when you got there, they had just finished shoving out who? Or taking the yards over from...
No, they were fighting for power because the yard had just been open for like 2 or 3 years, and they were still vying for power. Who's sitting at the best seats in the chow hall? Who's using the best dip bar out on the yard? You know, who gets to use the basketball courts whenever? Who uses the best basketball? The Mexicans had the best.
Yeah, and people got killed over that.
Got killed over it. Do you know this is our dip bar? We've claimed it.
Yeah.
You're over here. You're hit, man.
Right. Was there ever a war there? Well, you were there?
No, I didn't see one.
Okay.
No, they were just vying for power, you know, and the Mexican Mafia always was the top.
So did you, well, what was your plan? Were you expecting to parole out of Big Sandy?
Well, I knew.
Or were you going to get classed down to like a camp
I was going
or
to go.
something?
Yes, and I did. I got transferred to medium security once I left Big Sandy.
Okay.
I went to El Reno, Oklahoma.
Okay, so you how long at Big Sandy total?
Close to a year.
Oh, that's all?
That's it, man.
So you were hustling and you were working immediately.
Running.
Wow.
First day, recruited, picked up.
Wow. Did you have any close calls with like getting touched up or getting caught with drugs or anything like that? Any hole shots?
I almost got caught bringing back those 4 shanks, man, from C Unit. They called me up there. My first time doing anything. They called me, hey, want to talk to you up there. Here I come. Go up there. Shut the door. There's a whole house full of them. Yeah. Okay, in the morning, we got your first little thing. You're going to go over and see Unit. They got 4 MS-13s, got 4 brand new shanks for us. There's 4 of us in here. He's like, you're going to go get them and bring them back. I was thinking, I got a Unicorp job to report to. What about my job? What about, the metal? I'm not saying this.
Right.
I said, yes, no problem. Who do I go to? Stocky. Go to Stocky. Shot caller, MS-13 over there waiting. Okay. Hey, when you come back, he said, it's a one-way move. When you're going to sit up there, you're going to call medical first. When they call medical, you're going to go in real fast when they're coming out. The guard's not going to be there. He's going to be in the office. You go up straight up there to stock yourself. And then an hour later, they're going to call for Unicorp, work call facilities. That's when you go out with the rest of them. You forgot your ID card. What are you doing going back that way? I forgot my ID card. Okay. They're going to warn you, machine, under your boots, not on top. Put the shanks on top of your boot. I took my boot off. I put the shanks there, put it back on. Put the sharp tips down there towards my ankle. I'm coming out. Work call. It's game time, baby. It's time to go. I go downstairs. Here I come, sweating bullets. Johnny got 4 shanks. That's 20 years they tell me they give me for those 4 shanks. I get caught. Here I come. There's the guard, man, standing there. Hey, where you going? Because everybody's going this way. Unit Corps.
Yeah.
I'm the only one going that way.
Right.
Back to B unit. Yeah. Hey, where you going? I forgot my ID card. Just like my homeboys told me, everything's playing out. They're going to pull you over. They're going to warn you.
Yeah.
Your ID card. ID card. Come here. Spread your legs. Nothing. Raise your foot up. Left foot. Shanks are on my right foot. Nothing. Raise your right foot up. Underneath of it. Never on top.
Whoa. They knew. He wasn't going to wand the top.
Make sure you don't forget your ID card next time. Go on. Here I come, boy. First mission. Loaded down. Ford Shanks.
There you go.
Digging right down in my foot.
Yeah.
Blood soaked my sock.
Wow.
When I went up there. Wow. I'm passing my shot caller. He looked at me like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
How'd he make it?
Wow.
He looked at me like that. What, you didn't go? I got him. Todo bien, wait. Todo bien. Todo bien. It's all good. It's all good. I tell him. Hell yeah, he says. Go up there. Yeah.
That
I'll
impressed
talk
him?
to you after work. Yeah.
So that was impressive for him.
Heck yeah, he looked at me.
Wow.
You didn't go yet? Yeah, I went. I got him.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I felt something, see? I felt something. And I wanted to feel more.
Yeah.
And that's when I wanted to make the hit on somebody, man.
So had you plotted out the hit?
I was willing to do whatever to whoever it was, man. I was wanting to be next in line.
Okay, so I'm getting a sense that La Eme is the most powerful because of their discipline. You know, they got that Mexican work ethic and their organization and their ruthlessness, of course. But you talked about overhearing a murder plot. How would they're trying to get away with stabbing and killing somebody? What does that sound like? Like what is a murder plot at Big Sandy comprise of?
It's very simple, man, believe it or not, because I heard it through the vent. It was next door. You know, it was like, hey, we got to get approval from the outside before anything happens in here, man.
Really?
You know, yes.
So you can't get touched without
Heck
approval
no.
from somebody high up, like in California.
Yeah, it's got to come from the outside, man. It's got to come from the
Holy.
outside.
So even the top dog at Big Sandy is not the ultimate godfather.
He might pass it down, you know, before you do something like that.
Right.
But it has to come from something else, man.
Pelican Bay, probably. Wow. It's that organized. It's real.
Yes.
Okay.
I know since you mentioned Pelican Bay, and this is public knowledge. It's
of course.
public knowledge.
Everybody knows this.
One of my people, that's where they went, to Pelican Bay to get the order. And when they carried the order out, the feds was watching them. Now they got double life plus 60.
Right.
Yeah. Chad did the paperwork. Chad Marks, he knows about it too. Yeah,
right.
it's public
Okay.
knowledge.
So they get the word, they get the okay.
Yeah, you got to get the okay. Okay. Now they're not going to dissect it how you do the that. That's where you come in. Who, not me, but the highest one, the high on the yard.
Yeah.
That's where you make the plot, but it has to come, you know. But they come up with the scenario.
What was the way to hit somebody and not get
the best
caught
way
with
to
the
do
camera
that,
or
man?
anything?
Yeah, the best way to do that is send as many as you can all in there at once, because they're going to. That's all they have is whoever goes in there.
Right. What
happened? Well, the only 6 of you was in there. The other one's dead. So it's whatever happens. We went in there. There was argument. This is self-defense. Normally, it was the dude that already had double life. I'm not laughing at his life sentence.
Yeah.
There's no need to burn somebody else when this dude's never getting out in the first place.
Right.
You know, he'll go in there, but the other 5 might do the work.
Right.
And if it comes out somebody has to take the fall, it's the dude that ain't going home.
Right.
That's
right.
basic, Johnny,
see.
how it works out.
Okay.
We're not going to burn another soldier, man.
But they burned that guy that had 10 days.
Yeah,
they burned him,
but I don't know the details. Like I said, they wasn't planning on dying. I don't think they were planning on killing the guy.
Right, they're just punishing him.
It was like 2 or 3 days later, you know?
Yeah.
They caught an outside case. The FBI come right there.
Right.
Yeah, and they had to take him to whatever the federal courthouse was.
So there were people getting rearrested for bigger outside
charges,
charges.
man.
Right.
Getting charged, an outside case for something you committed inside.
Now, it's been said that La Eme sends orders to people on the street. It actually conducts street level drug dealing. Did you see that at all? Or did you have any awareness of that while you were in there?
Well, somebody wanted to use my phone, and they wanted to use my pack number to write the letters out.
You had a cell phone in there?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted to use my phone, my prison phone,
I got you. Right.
which we've been listened to,
Yeah.
They wanted to get on my phone, and I was like, what about anything else? And he's like, letters, can you put this, write them, because you're off the radar, they tell me. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that one,
Right.
Yeah, just give it to me,
So
man.
you wrote out.
Yeah, I wrote plenty of letters
Well,
out.
what, do you remember some of the letters?
Heck yeah, man, I was kind of embarrassed because it was like I was writing a lady and talking about lingerie and want to take this off, and I'm thinking, God only knows what this means,
I'm jacking off every day thinking about you.
Exactly. What about your pink blouse or this and that and all this? They had deciphered, the key to it, I'm sure, on the street,
Oh, so you're writing a letter about pink lingerie that might mean meth dealing.
Yes, it could be.
They're not dumb. They're not writing overt messaging.
No.
Whoa.
And I've got somebody standing over top of me the whole time making sure it's letter for letter.
Really?
Serious, man.
So they've got this decoded.
Stuff. Yes, it was serious.
Oh, they've got their together.
Yeah, he was right over top of me the whole time. He's like, that looks more like an E. He's not supposed to be a V.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's encoded within the letters.
Yeah. Because when I'm reading it, I'm like, man, who cares about a pink lingerie? It's December out here, and I was like, okay, I understand.
Wow.
I understand why you're doing it to me. I'm off the radar, like I heard you say,
It seems like the more time you have in there, the more you're able to get away with. Like, they threaten you with 5 years for having a shank, but, this guy over here can do whatever the fuck he wants because what's 5 years to him?
Exactly.
So it's like incentivizing bad behavior, And
they know it.
Yeah.
Like you say, like an incentive. They see it and they know it.
Well, you were tearing up just a little bit ago, and I appreciate your candidness. What was some of the things that conjure up in your mind when you have this kind of PTSD?
Well, being from the country, I enjoyed fishing a lot, Johnny, when I was younger, and that's just what I enjoy to do, man. I enjoy the outdoors. And I noticed one thing about the human brain, when you're put in terrible spots and situation in life, your brain is resilient, remarkable. And what I noticed about myself, Johnny, whenever I was in there, man, doing a hard time, locked down, and whenever they'd lock us down for months at a time, I would be so depressed, man, and so beat down, giving up on life that before I would go to bed, I would be thinking about fishing and things that made me happy. Then I would be able to like transcendental meditation, if you will. At night, I'd be able to project myself to my favorite fishing spot, and I would be away from Big Sandy, man. And it got deep, man. I done that to myself for months, man.
That's how you coped.
That's how I coped with it. I would mentally project myself to a favorite spot or favorite event in my life, and that took me out of having to worry about getting stabbed or killing somebody.
At what point did you regret not getting in that middle line when you first walked into the prison and they said, "Hey, you don't have to be here"?
Well, I mean, I would have thought about it, I mean, I wouldn't have felt coming right on this podcast if I would have done something like that. I wouldn't have felt worthy enough, to be able to represent myself, to be who I think that I.
No, I know, but did you regret after seeing how violent it was walking in there? Did you say, "Ooh, I f***ed up. I should have copped out"?
No, Johnny, because I never, ever wanted to show one shade of weakness. These people are experts of identifying weakness or a little crack in your armor, and then you might go astray, and we can't have that, man. So I wanted to show, strength and solidarity every moment. I never want to show a bit of weakness.
Yeah.
And I was able to form some good alliances, and friendships with people in the meantime.
So it was Big Sandy. It sounds like that's a good place to do life.
That's all it is.
If you got to do life in prison, that's where you get the most freedom of movement, the most freedom to make money, do drugs.
There's a lot of money on that yard, man. You had a lot of rich people on that yard.
Yeah. Who were some of these cats? You had big-time drug dealers?
Dewey. You had this dude named Dewey. He was from the Order, a white supremacy group, where they try to overthrow the federal government, robbing cars and armored trucks and stuff.
Wow.
And armories, that's what it was.
Wow.
Also, you had named Tran, some North Korean or South Korean dude. No, Vietnam. And what it was he seen a North or South Vietnamese rape his family. He never forgot it. So when he sent him to California as a kid, he formed this gang. I forget if it was a triad or what it was. And they were doing bombings, man, on the opposing, you know, whether it's North or South Vietnam. Yeah, he was in there and made him little bitty guy, has so much power. So much power.
Did they have a car? Did the Asians have a car?
Yeah, they had a little car. He was a shot caller over there. There was 5 or 6 of them over there.
Yeah, can't be many.
No, there wasn't many. There was a dirty South over there. There was a Nazi lowriders. Like I said, everybody had their own tables. And there was the white boys that ran by themselves, the solo, you know, white boys. They had their table, man.
Right.
Nobody messed with them.
Really?
They respected it. Yeah, they respected it.
Okay.
It was the people that was single by themselves, not running with nobody, that got looked at like you're under them. Those people were under the microscope, you know. Because you could have been attacked at any second.
So even if you weren't with the gang, you had a clique.
You had a clique. The white boys had a clique, even though there were no solo ran by themselves. They still clicked up. All the ones that were by themselves, they still clicked up. They were strong. They were powerful. Nobody messed with them, man.
Did you have the brand in there?
Yeah, ABT, the Texas brand.
Okay,
We didn't have
Texas.
the Cali. They can't walk the yard together. ABT, they're at war.
Yeah.
The original AB and then ABT, they're at war.
Because I think the AB's ranks of real AB guys are like minuscule. They only have like 200 real members, you know?
Yes, they are. And they're the Cadillac too, I think, of the white boys.
Yeah,
I believe so.
They are. So what did those run-ins look like? Were they bringing in meth, or how were they making money?
Man, they were just getting it from the ups. Like, you know, like I was like the third one down on the rung. You know, I'm sure that's how they were getting it in too, man.
What about the cigarettes?
Cigarettes?
Is that a good hustle?
But the only way that they were smoking, and what I did was the guards chew, right? So they would put that chew bottle in their trash can. They'd call it hot trash. But I would go. They would send me. The Mexicans would send me in there. Hey, go see if he'll give you the hot trash, man, and get the bottle. And I had one. I would get the bottle. I would take it up there, and we would pour that out, all that tobacco juice, and we would separate the strands of chew. We would dry it out. And then we would roll it, man, sell it, $5 smoke.
Yeah, I'm going to puke.
Nasty.
So you didn't have a guard bringing in cigarettes? Because I know that's big business.
No, El Reno was a different story.
Okay.
El Reno,
So we're going to get to that in a sec. So, wow, what a place. It
was deadly, very
fearsome.
deadly.
How many people got killed in the year that you were there?
2 days after I got there, somebody got killed, a white boy, over an A unit, and they shoved him under the bunk. And that's how they found out he was gone when they started doing rounds. We were one short. So they went into every cell, man. Look, and they shoved him under the bunk. They were drunk drinking White Lightning.
What is White Lightning, real quick?
Where you just make like hooch.
It's hooch, Pruno.
But it's strong. You can light it. It, and it's clear.
Wow.
It's clear.
And
they
killed
make
him.
it out of sure. Yeah, they killed him. Arguing, just play fighting, and one of them were drunk. Hey, you know, he got the best of me. I can't live with that. Yeah, because we're watching the football game. It was Sanchez for the New York Jets and somebody else. I remember the game. And lockdown. I'm like, damn, we missed the football game, Super Bowl. And he's like, what happened? Oh, white boy got killed over there. A unit. Like it wasn't nothing.
And that was just normal.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Guard said, you'll be out in a couple hours. Got to go in. Locked me in there. Yeah. Next morning, everybody's out.
Yeah. When did that happen again?
Oh, man, there's all the time getting locked down because of deaths. I was over there less than about 11 months, man, and there was 6 murders, man. So that's about 1 every 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty tame.
And that was nothing. They said it laid back.
Right.
Yeah, when Chad Marks and them was there in the beginning, it was all the time.
Right.
You never know who might end up dead.
Yeah. That's what, but now there's power.
Now
solidified.
Somebody's solidified it, and it's under control now. It's under control.
Damn. Yeah, that's bananas. That's what Unique was telling us at Lewisburg. The bus would pull up, and as soon as they heard that the bus was pulling up, they're like, okay, hey, I got to get my shower. I got to go to the store.
Yeah, because somebody's getting hit.
Yeah, exactly. Literally twice a week without fail.
That's the truth, man. You get them dudes coming off the chain, and they want to be Tub Tony, but you're a offender.
Right.
Okay, send him back there. He'll be back up front in a body bagger in a couple hours.
Did any offenders make it through?
Man,
Well,
I
you were
didn't
there?
see none. I mean, I seen some homosexual dudes They were together, you know, like two dudes.
Right.
Now, what they had on their package, I don't know if they turn gay when they come in. I don't know.
But that's cool. You can be openly gay.
Man, I walked into B3 from receiving. There was a dude sitting on another dude's lap doing his hair. I was like,
That's
what?
sweet.
Yes.
That's sweet.
I'm like, man, I'm keeping my hair cut for sure.
Now, did anybody get turned out, or was it not that kind of place?
I seen one dude, and every time a group of dudes, man, got drunk, they would always go to that little dude's cell and put up. And it only happened when they were drinking, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on up there, but I know a dude. Damn, I'll think of his name here in a second. He got. Yeah, he was my first cellie. What was going on is he took the Christian route. Remember, I told you to offer you two.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going Christian. He's like, I'm not coming to doing all this for them people. I'm going Christian, man. So he's like, hey, he's leaving tomorrow. Don't let him push the button. Here's the shank. Just touch him up a little bit. Just poke him. Don't go through him. Tell him we don't get down like that. I said, so poke him and tell him you don't get down like that. We don't get down like that, not you. I said, okay, I got you, man. I'm laying there on top bunk, the shanks under my mat. He's looking at me, telling me, I'm not doing this and that for him. I'm going over here. He's looking out the window, looking at me, thinking, damn, they're going to hit me, man, before I go over there. They've been lying. They're not going to let me go. They're going to hit me, you know, thinking I'm the hitter.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know, I wanted to tell him, look, as long as you don't hit that button, I'm good, man. You know, I never said nothing. He was telling me what to be looking for. And he's telling me, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. That's why I'm going over here. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Then his ass, man.
Okay, so they let him walk out.
They let him go to the next unit. Like 2 months later, I'm in Unicore. The machine shut off. Guards run out. I'm like, what happened? He's like, probably a fight. Ends up, man, Alvarez. They said, so what happened? Alvarez, the one, you know, would tell me, hey, watch him. Don't let him do nothing crazy. Took him over there. They were drinking. Him and his cellie just left ADX. His cellie just left ADX, got transferred back to the max, put him in general population. God only knows what he was doing ADX 7 years, man. Been around this nice looking young man.
Wow.
All night long.
Oh.
Listen, I went by there because I was on maintenance. Also, on the weekend, they had people in suits, man, like CSI with swabs.
Right.
Yes, taking pictures, man. The federal government.
Oh, God.
That
Did he survive that?
Him. No. Could you imagine what that done to your, you know what?
Why didn't they just poke him with the shank?
I guess there was no shanks over there. That was a
that would
program.
have been so preferable.
That was the program where you just lay back and do your time.
Right.
You're not no active nothing.
Okay, so that wasn't an order from Eme.
No.
So
no.
They just let him walk. They said, hey, we don't have a shank.
Look,
go pass. You got to pass.
Okay, you told us you don't want to be with us. You want to be Christian. Okay, this is where you people go over here in this unit. Well, he was in there with that dude that just come from ADX, man. They were drinking. And that dude took his thing from him, took his innocence from him, Johnny.
Took his life.
All night long. Thing where he bled out, man. Sent him back to ADX, the dude. But Eme didn't put no order, nothing.
Right. So they weren't in the business of that kind of thing.
No.
Using violence as a way. Okay.
No, sir.
And I assume there's no homosexuality between them.
Forbidden.
But if two white boys are, you know, in their own car, they can do what they want without repercussion.
That's not our business.
Okay. As long as you're not a pedophile offender, you can be with another man.
Yeah. There's tricky politics in there, man. That's why I said when they said just walk the line like machine, you know, I made sure what you can and can't do. You're not going to stab me. Yeah. I'm trying to make it back to fishing.
You know, I don't often have to take a moment during this podcast and catch my breath, but I think I need one of those.
Some dangerous stuff in there, Johnny.
Okay, so how long did you expect? Did you have like a counselor that said if you have good time, this is when you'll get classed down to a medium? Yeah,
because one day they called me back there and she's like, you know why you're here? I said, no. She's like, you're going to the drug program in El Reno, Oklahoma. I'm going to take a year off your time. She's like, I said, when am I getting transferred? That's the first thing I said, when am I getting out of here? She's like, well, barring any bad conducts or shots right up, she's like, could be 1 to 2 months. And I'm thinking, this is where it's all going to go down. In the next 1 or 2 months, I ain't never making out of here, man. People don't make it out of Big Sandy, man.
No, and they're going to hear about
They're going to hear about it, man. And somebody somewhere along the line for whatever reason, and I'm going to get bumped up to it's your turn.
Did you consider, I've heard, I've done state time with guys that were in places like this, Victorville when they were going at it, when it was just as violent. And they said guys with 60 days of the gate rather, would catch a hole shot on purpose. So did you just to be protected? They would know?
They would know, and they would have me killed back there in the hole.
How could they get to you in the hole?
They can get to you anywhere.
How do they kill you in the hole?
Because they'll have somebody else go back there and get in trouble. Johnny, I need you to go to the hole, take care of this house. Here, come here. Let me give you this moonshine. You drink it and then go out there and act crazy. I've seen them run across the yard in Oklahoma, dog drunk, right across the yard so the cops could tackle them. We're all like, what in the hell did he just run across the yard with a pint of white lightning to get tackled? Because he's got to go to the hole and do something. Right. That's why. Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a
They'll
mission.
put somebody on back there on purpose right next to if they got to kill you.
Now, but when you're in the hole, you're completely isolated from the other inmates.
Man, there's opportunities I've heard when they take you to the shower. Sometimes they might not lock it. You find opportunity because it's your order to kill him. Go back there and do it. Find a way. That's what it's going to look like, Johnny.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going like this. It's 2 months. What's your strategy? Just act like nothing?
Act like nothing. Don't go any harder. Don't back off.
Yeah. So you're still hustling, kicking upstairs?
Yeah.
Now, where are you keeping your dope? Like, I'm fascinated, because you know me. I like to get money. Yeah. I respect the money getting.
So I have to be honest with you, Johnny. A lot of people don't like it when I say this, but I keister my dope, man. Okay. I'm not leaving it in my locker, my room to get no extra time.
Right. But but you can't keep it in your ass all the time. So where do you stash it while you're waiting, while you're chipping and getting it off? Do you stash it in somebody else's cell?
I had that little Albert guy, the store guy, because they never went to him.
Right.
They never went to him. And I told him, look, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go get him. And he's going to come talk to you.
Right.
You remember the $70? Next time it's going to be everything.
Right.
Here, how much is it? He tells me. Yeah. Give it to me. I'll do whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. They never mess with him.
Wow, that's a great little hustle. So you're at the store. When you say store, what store was it?
Yeah, so
like what is that? Is that the commissary?
Well, what happens is you have people that'll go to the commissary and buy everything, like one of everything almost, or what you feel that someone would need, like on a weekend. Let's say we're cooking something. We don't have any garlic powder or rice, but this guy does because he owns a store, which means he's got everything the commissary does. Right. We're going to go pay him, but we're going to have to give him 25 cents extra on the dollar, man.
Right.
See?
Okay.
And
so
we're supposed to pay him whenever commissary day, we're supposed to pay what we owe him.
Okay.
He's the store guy.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yes.
I gotcha. So
it's convenient because it's a store. Like,
right.
hey,
so you don't
we
have to
need
wait
this,
for,
so let's go to the store.
You don't have to wait for commissary.
Right. Commissary's next week. We need garlic powder now. Right. He's got it.
Right. So he's just a friendly store guy.
Yes.
Meanwhile, who knows how many drugs he's stashing for people?
It could be somebody else's if it was that easy, but he didn't have the influence of the mafia either behind him like I did.
Right.
So that made it much easier for me.
Okay. And then you trading with stamps? Are people using stamps or is there cash in there too?
No, a book of stamps was 10 and they're 25 cents. So a book was $2.50 a book. And that's 10 stamps, which is like a quarter is basically what it is.
Okay. So how many stamps would you give your DC Black Heroin Connect?
Oh, I would send that off the computer, off my money, off my account. You can do it like this. You can go down to your account and you can have however much money and you can send it to a person's name and address. So then you got to go to take it to your counselor. They got to sign it and it's like a check from the federal government, but it's got your money on it.
Okay.
I would just go ahead and send that dude's whatever name he gave me and stuff. I would send it. It'd be a different name every time.
Right.
So it didn't look suspicious.
And they don't ask questions?
It might be in D.C. one time. It might be in Maryland. Right. So it might be in Virginia. Actually, it was those three places. Wow. I sent some money to Virginia, D.C., and Maryland. Three different people.
Wow.
And that's how I got my black tar heroin.
And was there ever a drought?
Hell yeah, there was. People were sick as a dog too, boy.
Must have been, right?
They was. You'd see them not showing up at work or not on the yard. Some people would check in, they get so sick.
Right.
Yeah, but it would come around. It would eventually come around.
Get through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn. That's wild. And your counselor never asked what you were sending these checks off for?
No. I only did 3 of them, man.
Right.
And I made them for large sums,
Right.
Yeah.
So how many?
1,200.
1,200.
Yeah,
So you get
I
two
got
two
two
M&Ms
each time. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So do you remember the day? Did they find out that you were going home?
Yeah, what happened was, the freak when they hand out mail, okay, everybody's looking at the mail line going up there. Did I get mail? Well, man, they send you something where your counselor sends it, in the package. And it was like, everybody knew what that was. That was your walking papers. You're leaving Big Sandy when you get that. It's very rarely seen. It's like a golden ticket.
Right.
And everybody and their mother knows what that is. Right. Oh, God, I got people coming up to me, hey, that money I owe you for this. Who can I give it to? And I'm barely even walking back to my cell. Yeah. So I'm like, if he knows that by looking at this, what do they know?
So does that
I go straight to him.
Right.
I go straight to him.
Yep.
They don't even go to my cell. Take it to him. What is this? I tell him, oh, man, you're out of here, man. Congratulations, this and that, It was a smooth transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were happy for you.
Yeah, they were happy. Yeah, because on the yard, the big guys, I heard you're getting out of here, and I'm like, thinking, is that good or bad? He's telling me that. I heard you're out of here. I need you to do one more thing for me, or I heard you're out of here. You're out of here. Wow. I didn't know which one it was.
Why do you think that was? Why did they give you a pass?
Because of who they see me with, that person. And I think he spoke for me, man.
Yeah.
And
they could see you were intelligent. You were a good mover.
And they're like, look, this is a freaking warrior with his mind, his intellect, not with his freaking, we have people for that,
Did the kingpin of that Big Sandy, the shot caller, whose hand you guys had to kiss every Saturday, which is insane.
Like a king he was. Always going by there.
Did he say goodbye? Did he know you were leaving?
Yeah, he knew I was leaving for 2 ways because the guy that told me out there, hey, I heard you're leaving, was one of his bodyguards, like a counselor to him.
Yeah.
And then another reason is because when I went and asked him the question that I wanted to ask him, basically letting him know that, hey, I want to know that it's okay if I do this. Do you know the meaning of it, the reason? And I explained to him, this is the reason why, Yeah, he said something like, I don't give a shit, or I'm good with it, or something, he tells me. But what it was, I had a marking, a tattoo that was represented them, and I told him, can I get this? Because I had to get permission. It cannot ask somebody over me. It had to be from the main top. I had to get permission from the made man in order to get this. That's what they're all telling me. He's like, yeah, you have to ask him, and you better know what it means, too, because he's going to ask you. Sure enough, he asked me.
What does it mean?
So I did my research. Whenever the one I wanted to get, it was an eagle, like on the Mexican flag with the snake, but his face was facing towards the south, which means something,
We missed Mexico.
Basically.
Right?
Good, yeah. It means that with like a history sense, of course, in the books, but with the mafia, it has a total different reference, see? So when somebody sees you, they automatically, I know what he is or who he was and who he is with.
Right.
That's what that means,
So that's the equivalent of like the swastika for the Aryan Brotherhood.
Basically, yeah. Like,
wow. Or the brand, rather. That would be like the white boy equivalent, the shamrock.
The shamrock, the clovers.
And so if you get caught with that ink, and that's...
Oh, you're verified. You're validated. Validated. Yeah. And that's why I was like, I didn't get it, too. Another reason.
Right.
Because the other guy, he was telling me, yeah, that's cool. You got permission, that and that. But listen, what happens when you're on vacation out there and you got your shirt off running down Redondo Beach and somebody pops you,
Yeah.
Is it,
And
that's what he told me.
And on the inside, if you get that ink and you're not
you
supposed
can
to have
only
that
go
ink.
certain places. You go to wherever you are and an enemy in it and they see that, it's over for you, man.
Right.
So I thought, I haven't got one yet, so let's just not get it.
Right. So he gave you your blessing, but...
I did get it, but I declined. I didn't want to get it after I spoke to someone else.
And did he wish you well when you were going home?
Yeah. Yeah, I told him thank you. I said, thank you, man. I said, for everything. Because when I first met him, it took me 3 days to meet him. Kept saying, you're going to meet him, you're going to meet him. Finally, I went down there. He's at a table and got his guards around him. I went over there and I shook his hand. I was like, Senor, I was like, thank you, for everything that you've done and everything that you can do. I said, but I'm willing to do anything for you. I said, I'll do anything for you. I told him that, man. Hand to God.
And were you planning on
No,
keeping your
I
word?
was just saying that. Yeah, I'll do whatever, but I was just saying that because of who he was, and what he could do. And make my life disappear or anybody around me, kill me or anybody. So I told him, well, I'll do anything you want me to do. I told him. He was just like,
Do you know what has become of him?
Yeah.
He's still there?
Yeah, he's out. He had 10-year sentence.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. They let this guy out?
Yeah, the main guy, not Alberto.
Right, Alberto's in there.
Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, the main dude. I only had 10 years. Yeah.
So how do you ascend to that position with only 10 years?
Well, he was made before he come there.
I see.
Yeah, he was a made man before he got there.
He was a made man on the streets?
Yes.
Or from before, maybe in another stretch?
Well, I heard this was his first federal bit.
Okay.
Now, he'd been in L.A. County, I heard. But he was a made man before he come to Big Sandy.
Wow.
And when he got there, Chad Marks was there. And there was two made men actually there. Another one, Fox. I'll go ahead and say his name is Fox. And Chad knew him. And they were there at the same time, but Fox left. And then it was only the other one from Norwalk. And that's the one I met from Norwalk.
Wow.
Yeah, and they say he was more ruthless than the other one.
Wow.
That's what they say, man.
And he was able to get out.
They had 10 years. They caught him on a meth case out here.
Wow. That's pretty wild. He was able to get away with, probably murdering people.
Well, he had a thing with the warden, is what they told me. Listen here, Johnny. On the dude's birthday, they take him down to the rec room. They're playing Mexican music, mariachi. They're all sending me back to get freaking City Cow bottles of White Lightning and bags. This is in between moves.
Wow.
Yeah, they're telling me, hey, go back over there. Freaking Ramirez has got some more. I'm like, well, you want me to wait till the move? And he's like, hold on. They go till the guard comes over. What's your name? Looks at me. Arevalos 1198433 coming back to B3 over. In the middle of a party they're having for this dude, I'm going back to get more liquor. Yeah. I come back down, more liquor. Here comes more people doing the same as me. I'll look through that window thing where there's only 4 or 5 people in there. They're playing music. He's dog drunk, Yeah. Or the rest out there just not drinking, just there to do whatever for him. So he gets so drunk, they put him in a wheelchair. They call the warden. Hey, we got you-know-who down here, dog drunk. Got a whole house full of soldiers, man. What do we do with him? Make sure he don't get touched. Wheel him back to A unit, to his unit.
Wow.
This is the Federal Bureau of Prisons calling the warden, man.
Unbelievable.
We got this dude here drunk. Put him in a wheelchair, make sure he's okay, get him back to his unit.
That's right.
Letting us get wild down here, man.
Power.
Yeah. Power.
Yeah. And he wants the lid on things. If there's only 6 murders at Big Sandy this year.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. They had a relationship. Look, nothing crazy. Don't be touching our guards. We had a big thing. Don't talk back to the guards. You talk back to the guards or give them problems, it's over for you, man.
Right.
Because they're coming straight for him.
Right.
They're coming straight for him.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like an order, peace and order in a way.
Keep order.
To a certain extent, man.
You remember the day you got transferred out?
Yeah, I remember. I remember looking back when that riot gates, every few feet, they had riot gates. So when you come, the first riot gate pops, you have the whole unit here in the middle. They close the back one about 5 minutes, then they open another one. That's how they control everybody, in case there's something there.
Yeah.
So, I remember when they first opened that riot gate, and I was there by myself, man. Looking back around, I was by myself. I said, God, you finally let me make it. Thank you so much, man. Because I thought I was going to die up there, Johnny, or get a life sentence, man.
Had you made peace with that?
Yes.
Had you accepted that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I told God, man, one night, I said, I already know what it is here. I can see by the atmosphere, the environment, the death, and I can feel it, And I told God, please forgive me, but I'm going to do everything I can, man, to make it out here. And if I have to draw blood from another human, so be it. But that's what I'm going to do. Whatever I have to do, Johnny, to get back. And I made it that way for myself, man.
And you never considered going to PC, dropping out?
No.
Did people do that while you were there? Did people drop out?
I never seen nobody with us.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, because it's over for you, man. You're marked,
They
man.
can get you there.
Yeah, they're marked, man. You'd have to go to protective custody yard to get away.
That's what I mean.
A gang dropout yard.
Yeah, so you didn't see any of that happen? If you could
find a way, because they told me it's always got to be 2 of you, no matter where you go. To the counselor's office, you're going to have another one sitting like a homeboy. And they's like, we do this to keep the other gangs from saying, hey, he was in there by himself. Who knows what he could have been talking about,
Oh.
2 people, no matter where you go.
So you have to have one other guy who's willing to drop out.
You have him. I don't know. I might have to work that way, but they told me, hey, anytime you go anywhere, counselor calls you in the back, come get one of us. We have to go. And they're cool with it. They told me they're cool with it. They know why we do it.
Okay. So if you were going to drop out and not tell anybody, they would see you going there.
What are you doing? By yourself.
Alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Whoa, dude. It's like the KGB.
You can't get out of it, man.
So where did they ship you off to, the drug program?
El Reno, man. El Reno, Oklahoma.
So what was that like?
Medium custody. It was more, I felt it was more dangerous because there was no control.
Right.
There was no control, man. I mean, it was a wild, wild west.
Free movement everywhere.
Exactly. Every hour there's a movement out onto the yard. In Big Sandy, you're stuck in there. You go to outside rec once a week.
Right.
For 3 hours, man. So El Reno, that buzz comes every week. And they're sending Pisces up there, all kinds of stuff. And then they're not supposed to be on that yard if they try to sneak through or don't understand the seriousness of it and get back there. And one of them other gangs sees it, it's over for you, man. And I felt it was more dangerous because they were butchering them right up there while they were chained on the chain.
Oh, my God.
They would be landscaping, Johnny. Old Mexican dudes like Grandpa, freaking Uncle Tom, whatever, mustache, everything. Looks like a churchgoer up there, weed eating, everything's cool. Hey, welcome to El Reno. Kill him. Bop, 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 bop. Zzz. What happened? I've been weed eating, sir. I don't know what happened.
That happened?
Yes, all the time. They were up there like vultures, Johnny, the gangs. The way they seen it dare whoever did the first hit, oh, yeah, we got them this week. Yeah, now next week's your week. They rotated, man. Oof. Yeah.
Did you know that it was like that?
Not at first. I don't know nothing.
You're excited. You're like, I'm out of Big Sandy.
I'm out of medium. Nothing happens. Thank God. No, it was more deadly, man.
Wow. Because they can.
Because nobody had to get no permission.
Right. And knives can move easier.
Oh, they had a Unicor over here. It was some kind of fabrication shop. A dude got caught with a 5-gallon bucket full. Oh. He was going to try to make it. The mother load.
Right. And they probably selling them
Carlos,
too.
yeah. He was off the radar. Somebody like me at Big Sandy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably sell for good money too.
Yeah.
Good ones.
Sure they do, man.
So now it's chaos. Now you don't have a Eme controlling everything.
Now it's crazy, man. Kind of every man for himself and stuff over there.
Oh.
But and then so there's so many drugs over there, and I'm thinking of a new way. So here's what I do. I get power, over there. So then what happens is I'm telling them, look, these jobs, there's a microwave, orderlies, okay? You might clean the showers, clean the microwaves. I'm going, if they're not connected, I'm going to them, look, I'm connected. This is who I've got. This is who I'm with right here. This job, you getting $50 a week or $50 a month off of it. We're getting $20 off of it from now on. But this, get him.
Wait, so you're just shaking people down?
Extortion. I'm putting people, whatever jobs who want to have that job, that's who's going to have if you don't pay me the 20 out of the 50. And if it's a job like the microwaves, because the microwave man, he had access to the closet, which has got the floor wax and that pink liquid stuff that everybody likes because it cleans the room real good. Now I'm selling the wax, I'm selling that pink cleaning solution, and I'm getting $20 off of him. The shower job, Oberhelman, he was cool as a fan, kept them showers clean, but I have to tie my shank at the end of a piece of dental floss and tie it in the shower thing. That way I can take the cap off. If there's a wart, go in there and get it. That's where I'm hiding my shanks at now, Johnny.
Yeah, down in the shower drain.
I need that shower.
How are you coming in with this muscle? Who do you say
because Texas Mexican Mafia was there. The same ones that was with Eme at Big Sandy.
Okay.
I know both of them now.
So they're like the group right below Eme.
Yes,
Texas
Mexican. Is right below the California. See.
Got it.
Okay, you know them, you know this. Okay, you're with the big guys up there, the main men. Cool. Right. Now you come with us.
And you got juice because you just survived Big Sandy.
Just left Big Sandy. All them prospects and upcoming soldiers looking at me, open the doors for me. Hey, you got this and that over there. You doing okay? Yeah, man. Already had it off the muscle. Had the power. I'm giving them new ideas. Look, you guys are doing this and that. Let's get the jobs, man. Let's get the laundry. I went and got a job in laundry. Now I'm providing laundry service. You want your laundry done twice a week? Set it outside your door and we'll have somebody come pick it up. $50 a month. I've got my own washer machine up there now. I've took control of the laundry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your personal laundry. It's not going to be with the compound.
Yeah.
It's going to be in their fresh soap, everything. VIP customer. Yes. I'm getting it everywhere, Johnny. I got the money coming in everywhere.
Wow. And now, is that enough? Is there enough business for that?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
enough people with money to pay for laundry service
man.
and
You
whatnot?
have some of those dudes up there that's never been to the chow hall. They have personal chefs, man. Well, I be my chefs. They cut the trash can out, hard plastic, go to the commissary and get that olive oil, and that's how they fry it. So they get their burrito, they stuff it full of meats and cheeses from the chow hall. They put that dental floss around it, get that olive oil real hot, just dip that down there, hold that dental floss string, dip it where it gets nice and crusty. Now you got a fried freaking burrito.
Yeah.
I'm all over it, man.
Wow. So you're making legal money, sort of.
Legal money,
Sort
man.
of legal money.
I got the laundry game down, providing your service, drop-off, pickup service if you want. And then I got the job thing going, you know.
Did you ever have to call the dogs because somebody wouldn't,
Not once they seen me with who I was with. Wow. When I first went and handed my monthly bill out, I had 2 soldiers with me.
Right.
Yeah. So when Chris walks in, Machine walks in, and he's got 2 mafia soldiers in, there's no questions.
Right. Because those dudes are ready to do
Yeah, they're ready to do whatever.
Yeah.
They've already got the order from the man.
Right.
And I've already sit down with him. Look, this is what I was doing for your people, 30%. I can do you 30. But I need your power. I need the back. Right. I need your backing, your blessing.
So if you're extorting 20 out of a guy, you pay $6 to the boss.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
And it come to the point where I'm making money off the food now. I got to connect. Big Ben, big tall black dude, bringing me whole roast beefs, man.
Wow.
Yes, I've got the roast beefs. I got the chicken. We're dicing it up in between count. I'm giving them to the white dude to fry them. Everybody's in. Everybody knows me now.
Wow. Are these cells? Are these now like single man cells?
Yeah, single man cells.
Okay. And you're in the drug program?
Yeah, I'm in RDAP, on the RDAP side.
So, but you're doing all this hustling, but you can't really catch another charge for that.
No, anything like that, they kick you out of the RDAP program, you lose a year, man.
Right.
So we're from 7 until 2:30 RDAP all day long.
And what was that? Was that good for you?
I have to be honest with you. I just played it to get my ear, Johnny.
Yeah.
I played it to get my ear
I did the same thing when I was locked up.
Okay.
Yeah. They were like, you got to say you're all up and a drug addict. I was like,
whatever you want to do.
Addict. I can't help it.
Exactly. Don't forget that year you owe me.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, but I enjoyed myself at El Reno. I'm out there on the yard, man. Yeah. It seems like every second was new money deal going for me, man.
What about drugs and cigarettes?
Oh, they had the heroin up there and the cigarettes too. Yeah. Yeah. The white dude, Heath, and he was a guard, man. He was from Oklahoma. And how we got connected was his people was from Kentucky, his grandma. Because when he heard my voice, he was there, big dude. He's like, man, my grandpa sounded like you. He said, he's from Kentucky. I said, my people's from Kentucky. I said, where you work at? He's like, in here. He's just locking the fence. I said, you careful, I come in, sit down. It's air conditioning. Go ahead, man. We're chopping it up, get real good. He goes and gets stomach surgery done. They leave the sponge in him. He's telling me he's all messed up. Guess what he pulls out for pain medicine? Oxy 80.
What?
Yes. He's like, he knows about me. Hey, he's like, you remember these? He's like, I give you one, man, but And then like 2 days later, I walk in on him, a white boy in there, ABT. And I said, hold on, I'll come back. And he's like, no, he's cool. He throws his leg up on the desk, pulls out a big ass thing of tobacco and hands it to the ABT. He walks out. I said, how do you?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Exactly. I said, do you see how I've been walking around with out on the yard, don't you? He said, no, I don't pay no attention. I said, I tell him who. I go tell them what I see. They said, go back up there. Tell him this and that and that. Give him these numbers. Tell him what he can do. And I said, I get you about 30 minutes after I left him, I can get you $1,200 a carton. I can have it wherever you want. Whoa. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so $1,200 for a carton of cigarettes is how many
Class
packs?
A. How many packs in there? 10?
10 packs. Okay.
Yeah.
How
so
much?
That's 120, ain't it?
120 cigarettes?
No. In each pack, 20 cigarettes in a pack.
Right. So 120 times 20.
Yes.
Holy shit. So that's better than drug money.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, I'm not getting all that, man, because it's not my money that's going up. And this is a made man that I'm talking to. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just opening the door and giving it to you, sir.
Right.
Here's what I'm doing, man. I don't want nothing. Here's Connect. I'm going to pass it off to you. Don't forget me. Somebody starts talking about me, politicking against me.
Right.
I got him as an ally.
Right.
This made man.
Smart.
Now, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to build up my allies with inside in case they ever politic against me, another soldier.
Right.
I want machine this. He did. Man, that mother making it 1,200, 24 off the cigarettes, off the food, off the jobs, off the laundry.
Yeah.
No, whatever it is, it's okay. We can overlook it.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, but just think about, that's how guards get turned. That's how they
the
get
white boys
flipped.
got him first.
Yeah.
The white boys got him first. I just wanted to get a part for the mafia.
Yeah. So
that's
a huge lick.
Heck yeah. And when he seen that, and I noticed them too. Casper, I'll go ahead and tell you the main man, Casper from Texas Mexican Mafia, little short dude. I'll walk with him when they closing wreck. Here's Heath out there standing, and I watched Heath, and he was like mad dog, and I looked over at some eye, and Casper was like, pointing, going like this to me, like that and stuff, and Heath was like, so I was thinking, man, well, they got something going already, and they don't want me to know everything about it,
And what did one cigarette?
I seen them.
What did one stick go for of tobacco in there?
$10 for a Class A. For a Class A. Now, you can get some of them re-rolls where they be smoking, and it's down to the filter, and them dudes get all them filters, and they re-roll it for $5.
Right.
Yeah.
But $10 is what gives you that good
man.
hit. Yeah.
They want that.
Man, when the feds made the cigarettes illegal, they opened up like $1 million black market. Literally.
That cigarette's $1 million industry, Johnny.
Yeah, Unique. This is the third time I've referenced him, but he was in the similar conditions. He said, man, guards were paying off their mortgages, pulling up in brand new trucks.
And he told me of a new house he had bought.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
bringing in cartons of
Oklahoma
cigarettes.
City. He said, I just got me like a $200,000 house in Oklahoma City. I was like, that good? He's like, in Oklahoma City, that's like a mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he only said that after I was telling him about the cigarette deal and stuff, So it made me think, like you say, people are building houses off prison hustles, man.
So you completed the drug program on time?
Yeah.
So now you only have 2 more years?
Yeah.
And where did you finish those out at?
I finished them there.
Okay.
Finished them there. And then I got sent to the halfway house like everybody does, federal halfway house. And then I violate, man. I end up violating. And then that's when the U.S. Marshals, I'm walking downstairs to get my car one morning, 3 black SUVs pull up. And they jump out, U.S. Marshals, get your hands on top of your head, put your keys on top. I was like, why? I seen these green dots, and I'm like, all happened so fast. Boom, boom, boom. And they're on me. And I was like, what's going on, man? And he's like, oh, we got a warrant for your probation violation. And I'm thinking, what? I pissed clean. And he's like, you've been going to school in Ivy Tech across the state line, and they violated you. I said, I told my probation officer. And he's like, you ain't got no signed papers authorizing it, though. That United States Attorney General got me, man. Wow. Yeah, he conspired.
Well, they wanted your ass.
He wanted me. He conspired with her, man. So I go back to court, and he's talking finished the 3-year total. And then I'm like, told the judge, my lawyer, I'm like, how's a year and a day? Because you get the extra day, and you get the 7 days off for the year and good time. And he's like, that's okay, the federal judge said. Then they send me to freaking McDowell, West Virginia.
Hang on. So you got a year?
For crossing the state line.
After
and
you're going
I told
to
the
school?
probation officer that I was going to school over there. Okay, that's fine. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't sign no papers.
This is why I'm a libertarian. This is why
Crazy, man.
Is why I believe in getting rid of the federal government or reducing it to a fraction of its power, because it's such
yeah, so now
you're also from a really bum place too. They wouldn't do that in a place like Oregon just because it's not in the culture. It's a much more forgiving, you're from a pretty old school Christian, backwards, draconian
conservatives,
place.
Man.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. But that's not Christian. Being there's no forgiveness about that kind of ass move.
He wanted me bad, man.
I hope he's got cirrhosis of the liver,
man.
Anyways.
Yeah, so now I'm at West Virginia.
What year is this that you violated?
This is in 2013, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So California's there on the original. They're there again on this yard. Mexican Mafia.
What's McDowell? Is that
West Virginia?
Is that a USP?
Middle. No, medium.
Okay,
yeah.
But
no made men, but they had the soldiers,
right?
The Serranos,
okay,
were at McDowell,
right?
And they knew me because of Big Sandy and stuff. You know, I shot a letter. They shot the letter, got everything straight,
right?
So now I'm with them again. And then I ain't got much time, like a little bit less than a year, because I went all over.
Right.
The government flew me to freaking Atlanta, Georgia, holdover. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was easier for me to get a cell phone and a piece of booty than it was a thing of toilet paper, Johnny Mitchell.
In Atlanta?
Atlanta Federal Prison. I'm banging on the door. I have to use the bathroom. I don't want to use the bathroom, no toilet paper.
Yeah.
Here comes the range runner. What's up, man? I need toilet paper, man. You know, hold on. I tell him who I am. I don't mean much. You got money? Yeah, I got money too. Hold on. Here comes a black guard, female. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I heard you're going to be here for a few weeks. What you pound on the door for? I need toilet paper. Hey, you want some of this? I said, some of what? Yes. I said, some of you? She's like, yeah, or a cell phone so you can call your girl. I said, we're talking about a roll of toilet paper, ma'am. Ma'am. She said, you'll be better off getting your piece of ass off maybe that roll of toilet paper, baby. Closed the beanhole on my face. Wow. Never seen her again.
You're like, let me take a
and then shower and then send the money and wash off real good and I'll be right in there bending you over the desk. Hold on.
Wow. That goes on a lot too.
Yeah, she said you'd be easier getting you a piece of this or a cell phone than you will that roll of toilet paper and close the beanhole. Yeah, so I'm in West Virginia, man, over there in McDowell, getting her a job in laundry. This is how I'm trafficking my drugs. So every unit pushes down a big laundry cart, okay, full of that unit's laundry, okay? We go down there. They do the laundry. Wash it dry. Put it back in the bag with the number. Put it in C unit cart. Whoever's in C unit transports the thing back up there. All my homies in C unit, I tell them, whoever you want with their in the bag, give it to me because I'm going to put it in that laundry bag. And it's going to save everybody from hand-to-hand transaction. The shit already going to be in that man's laundry bag. So when he goes in the unit and they're handed out, he's already got his smack, his heroin. He's already got his stamp showing, his Jack Mac, everything.
Wow.
Yes.
So you've always been a hustler.
Always hustling, man.
You're since the days of transporting oxys across the border. Now you're moving heroin in the federal prison system
across the yard untouched.
Why did you? Why with a 1 year cat nap, we call that. You know, that's a nap.
I know, man.
Why are you
busted.
trafficking heroin?
Exactly. I was bored, man. I mean, like you say, I just had that mentality, the connect, mentality, man. And I just couldn't sit by and see some plan, basic grade C grade plan whenever I can elevate the game and I can put us all in on it, man.
Who's bringing in the heroin in McDowell?
Baltimore boys.
Right.
God dang. They had it flooded with Suboxone strips and heroin.
Wow. And these are black guys.
Yeah, and you didn't know somebody from Baltimore, you wasn't getting it, man. Just so happens, Big Kev from Baltimore, everybody knows him at the yard because he was the ticket man. And I don't know what else he was. Man, they liked him, them dudes from Baltimore. Anyway, Big Kev, he was a good laundry customer. Always kept him a good outfit for when his family flew in from Baltimore. So he had the Suboxone thing going. They were going for like $40 a strip. He was giving them to me for 10,
Wow.
And then he's like, I can get something better coming, man. Got the heroin game going from him.
And is this brown or?
Tar again.
It's tar.
Tar
and how
again.
are people getting high on heroin in prison?
Yeah.
They smoking it or they shooting it?
Well, you can use that binky.
Oh, you told me that.
Yeah, the binky, or you can snort it through that spoon with the hot water. That binky, because you're the only person that's ever known what a binky is, Johnny Mitchell. Yeah. But I'm going to tell these people, so when you got that milk bag in a chow hall, and you go push that, put your cup under it, that white plastic tube, you can chop that in half, and then you can fold it over and put a rubber band, take you an ink pen, and then the end of it, take the tube out and get you a little bitty hoe. And what I did was I got needles, dirty needles from Big Sandy, the medical person. He was working back there. I got another connect when I went to medical. I seen that thing of dirty needles up there taken from, God only knows, it's probably your person's HIV medicine or cancer medicine. God only knows. I want them. I need them.
Throw up again, bro.
I can sell them things, man. Let's get the needle game going. So that's what I binky. I clear that big ink pen, stick that dirty needle tip up there, Johnny, and melt it down where it wouldn't get no air. Get me a little bitty thing of water. Use that suction. Suck it up, see if it worked. I sit right there and see them push that dirty needle right in their arm, man. I tell them.
So people with binkies are shooting heroin with dirty recycled
God only
needles.
knows. insulin people, AIDS patients, cancer patients. I tell them, look, get
so
you something.
Yeah.
Clean it out with, man. I don't know who's been using that, man.
But people are using dope
They
in there.
use it. Yeah, I seen them use it right after I tell them. Wow. They don't even clean it, some of them.
So you were able to stack money. You seem, there's been a lot of poor decisions listening to your life story, but you seemed like you were good with money. You knew how to save, and you had money.
Save it, man.
Even when you went back on violation, you had money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tell you what I did, you're going to think it's crazy because I only gave me a year, right, on that probation. So when I'm going to the counselor, getting ready to get out, you're going to get 30 days halfway house, man. It takes 2 weeks before the process. You can go out on a job search. If I get a job, that'd be a 2-week job. Come on, what am I supposed to do? Well, I remember the first time I went through Grayson County, and then boys in there talking about Suboxone strips going for $100 a pop and couldn't keep enough of them. I get out there long enough on a street in that halfway house, go get me 200 Suboxone strips, keister them, cause hell and dismiss charity. She pushes the U.S. Marshal button. Here they come. Well, we'll let you go. I don't want you to let me go. I said, I want to go. I said, I'm not getting a job. I'm not listening to none of these people no more. 4 U.S. Marshals, vest everything, come. Here they come. Well, you saying you want to go back? I want to violate. Put your hands behind your back. Taking to Grayson County. Thank you, sir. I got 200 Suboxone strips stuffed up my ass, and I'm going to let them go for $100 a pop the first person I see them. That's what I did. They weren't going to give me but 30 days, Johnny Mitchell, in that halfway house. I wasn't going to make no money, man.
So you made $2,000?
Damn right.
Just going back to the county jail?
Grayson County. That was a federal holdover.
Oh, okay.
In Litchfield, Kentucky.
So then how long did you have to stay there for?
They sent me there for like 3 or 4 weeks until they processed me.
And now you're good. Now I'm
done with everything.
Now you just get to go free. You don't even have to go to the halfway house.
Nope. Have my people come
and then you don't have a tail, right?
Nothing. No probation, man.
It's almost worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it to me.
Federal probation is so brutal, especially if you have
they can start you
bad
all
PO,
over.
Right? It's like, hey, just send me back for a year. I mean, you selling drugs is, risking it is just the craziest shit I've ever heard. But you have some ingeniousness in you, Chris Arevalos, and man, you really are doing well now. Yes, you're doing well.
Yes, I just got accepted to Purdue University.
Amazing.
Man. It's unbelievable. God bless me so much. I turned my heart over to God, Johnny, man. He's instilled a new heart in me.
But when? Because it clearly wasn't while you were down.
This was like 3 years ago.
Okay, so what did you do in that block of time between 2014, 2015 and the pandemic? Like,
man, I was hustling up until the pandemic everything shut down. I was like, be a good time to try to squeeze some college classes in. Went and got my associate's degree in advanced automation.
Awesome.
Yeah, I graduated last May from that. But like I say, I had a new turn of heart. God transformed my heart, gave me a new heart and a new spirit, man. Just like it says in the Bible. He done that for me.
You're a good guy. You got a good spirit, man.
Yes, the Holy Spirit convicted me, come down, and I could not outrun that power. He changed my whole mental outlook and everything. Mm-hmm. I give it all to God, all the glory, man.
And here you are standing.
Yes.
HIV,
unscathed.
HIV
no
negative.
HIV, made bone crushers, handed bone crushers, sewed heroin in there, untouched, unscathed, man. Yeah. It has to be a blessing. It's a blessing.
Right. There's a reason. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a reason I'm still standing.
Yeah.
Man.
He let you walk out of Big Sandy.
He did. That's something that very few people they always tell me. A lot of people come here, but very few people get off this mountain alive, man.
Yeah. You leave in a bag usually.
I've seen it, man.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're drug-free, crime-free.
Thank you, man.
Living, doing your best, and, best of luck with school. And there's nothing really to plug. Do you want to shout out anybody? And we're going to turn to the Patreon and tell some more war stories from the feds just because it's so fascinating. But do you want to shout out any of the homeboys? I want to
shout out to my homeboy, Alberto Hernandez, doing double life in 60 over here at Victorville, not too far from here. I want to give a shout out to all the soldiers, man. Being such respectful and looking out for me and stay strong in the feds. My cousin, Jordan McBride Potts, just had a child, my personal barber. If you're ever in the West, hit me up. I'll send you the best barber, Chaz Barber Shop, man, my cousin. But that's about, I stay to myself, Johnny, just on the grind, man, stay out of trouble. These people never ask me to do anything illegal, but I'll still do whatever they want me to do, man.
Wow. Okay, put a pin in that. We're going to talk about that on the Patreon. Jesus, whenever I think it's over, Chris, whenever I think you got
didn't tell
out,
you about the time they flew me to Florida, man. They
Jesus.
flew me to Florida to talk to a lawyer, $150,000 lawyer.
Wow.
We ended up going with Chad Marks instead.
Shout out, can we shout Chad out?
Yes,
and his legal
thank you.
business.
And his legal business. He's all about legal.
Yeah,
All
he's a
about
paralegal. Look him up, Chad Marks. Everybody in the feds knows him. So
Everyone.
And if you're in the feds, get a hold of us. We want to know how you're watching our show in federal prison. We're tickled.
They're doing it.
Man.
Everybody's watching your show, man.
I think if I went to the feds right now, I might be okay.
You'd be one of the shot callers, Johnny. You made up in there.
I'm Johnny Mitchell from the Connect. I'd have a lot of good guests. I know that for sure.
Yeah. No, a guy like you, you'd be doing real well. You'd be up there, man.
Chris, a real pleasure talking with you, brother.
Thank
this
you
was
so
unexpected, but I had a great time. And
enjoy myself. Yes.
Patreon.com/The Connect Show for more Chris Arevalos. A come from behind story. You and Larry Bird, Indiana's finest.
Yes.
All right. Shout out. Take care, guys. Thanks.